There it is, much better. Much better, I think. Okay, we're trying something new today. I hope it works out. Let me get my phone going. Boy, I am not having a good time lately. Thank God for this race, because I have been pretty miserable the last few days. Make sure this sounds and looks okay. I want to know what this looks like. Oh, I know it sounds okay. How does it look? Okay, little YouTube thing. Why don't you get that shit off my screen? I'm looking at YouTube on my phone, and it's trying to show me, like, oh, did you know you can do this, this, and it's like, yeah. I don't care much. But anyway. Look at us. We have a leaderboard up now. It's better than a blue screen, I guess. Okay, it says we're good. This is what you get to look at from now on instead of a blue screen. Like it? Much more improvement. Wow, such improvement. Oh, I gotta plug my computer up. It was thundering here earlier and I didn't want to fucking lose this $800 computer. Ooh, they're showing Wally's World. I still get the TV muted. You'll hear the race audio in a minute. I remember to occasionally move the mouse so the screen doesn't go black. Maybe. Did they really just bring Wally Dolan back to do one thing? He doesn't work at NBC, does he? I can't remember. Yeah, I guess I can turn the radio audio on.
Yeah, Wally Dolan said he'd been through turn 6 a few thousand times. Well, today, these guys got it figured out in 52 laps. And many of these drivers have never even seen this racetrack. So it's sprinkling, it's raining, never seen a track before.
Oh yeah, the track is what. I've not been paying attention to the rain delay coverage.
Nothing normal about this day. And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, the Grand Marshal of today's race, the president of the University of Northwestern Ohio, Dr. Jeff Jarvis.
Who?
On behalf of everyone at the University of Northwestern Ohio, it's Daytona on NBC Sports. Drivers, start your engines!
Hear how the race audio sounds.
Maybe the most anticipated sound.
I think it sounds good to me.
In a very, very long time. Again, a lot of Cup drivers are going to be watching this as well. What's going to happen? The road course next for the Xfinity Series.
I'll check on the leaderboard periodically to make sure it stays up to date. I wish I could show more of that leaderboard, but we got the top 12 driver names as best I could get it without moving down and not being able to see what lap and everything. For anybody who cares about that sort of thing. Am I high tech now? This is about as high tech as we're ever going to get. This is as high tech as I could ever hope to be. Hope you like it. Oh wait, I forgot I clicked off the thing. I gotta mess with the settings really fast. Hold on. I don't want my laptop going dark after 10 minutes of me watching the race. Display, power and sleep. That's the one. Oh God. Screen, turn screen off and plugged in after fun. We'll say 2 hours. This will solve that problem. Two hours for everything. Because I'll remember to move the mouse sometime in 2 hours. Okay. Leaderboard is back up. Race is about to start. I'm just having a hard time lately. Something triggered me just before I started streaming. Great timing. So who's going to win, and why is it going to be AJ Allmendinger? No, it's going to be Cindric again, I feel like. Although, God, you got to think Andy Lally and AJ Allmendinger are going to be tough. Yes, I said Andy Lally. I just say Andy Lally because I know he's driven this racetrack a lot. When's the last time Cindric drove this track? I'll refresh the leaderboard one more time before they go green to make sure it's going to work. Hey, Michael.
Credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans.
They check the audio levels again.
And by Toyota.
Three wide, onto the front straightaway.
Can y'all hear the race, the TV audio just fine? I don't have it too quiet or too loud.
The first running of the Xfinity Series on the road course at Indianapolis, and the Indiana boy is going to win it.
You were about to take a nap? I felt like it. No, I slept great last night, believe it or not. I slept till like 2 o'clock today. I went to bed at 4:30, roughly a little before 4:30, and didn't wake up till 2:30 in the afternoon. So I feel pretty good, physically for once. Mentally, not so much. Mentally, I'm quite the piece of work the last few days.
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing, University of Northwestern Ohio, 188, the Daytona Road Course. History is being
We're
made.
high tech now.
Cars make
Aren't
their
you
way
happy?
around this famous road course.
This has got to be better than the blue screen. You can get information here.
As we see the starting grid, a little bit different. There's a formula that comes in. It's not a random draw.
You know what's funny? I could show the race now, but I'm not gonna because people don't understand copyright claims. There's a difference between claims and strikes. But what's funny is I could actually show the race now. I could bring up the Xfinity thing and show you the race. I wish I could.
Row 6, he'll be one that everyone will be watching. If he can once again get to victory lane.
I've got because it's on NBCSN, I'm using the NBC Sports app on PlayStation to watch on TV. Because like I said, I don't get the HD version here on our cable.
On the international stage, can that success carry over to the Xfinity car?
Car you see going to the rear.
Yeah, this leaderboard thing's nice.
Also leading the field as the official pace car for today's race is the 2020
Race will start under wet
GR Super. We
conditions.
actually just saw that
450 command start engine.
piece with, Wally Dallenbach
Are the
Jr.
storms
He was out
gone?
there, of course, in that pace car.
I don't want to get our hopes up here and be like, all right, let's go race, and then it's going to start fucking lightning again in a few minutes.
This course, NASCAR has called it a wet racing surface. So, Steve, when they come to pit road this time, they can put the wet.
You know what sucks about rain-delayed starts? They take 10 times longer to get going because now we got to bring them down pit road and put the fucking wet tires on.
To start this race on the wet tire. The other requirement is the red running light in the rear window of these vehicles. Those are the two rules you must
come to. But the difference is, whichever you want to have that, and you want to have the defroster, but those are optional. That's really a performance thing. The tire and the running light required by NASCAR.
All right, so they will be doing that when they come by next time, or come on to.
Anybody see that ARCA race last night? I watched part of it. I saw the battle between Ty Gibbs and Michael Self. That little period of the race. My ex-boyfriend Nixon posted it. I called Nixon my ex because he hates me now. I don't know why. Nixon, take me back. It was all my fault. Look how sharp that corner is coming out on the racetrack. Like, you've got a lot of runoff room, but look how fucking tight that corner is when you want to get back up onto the banking. It's crazy.
Of the racetrack. Looks like a turn 3.
All right, Janet, we'll be here.
I want to focus on those heavy braking zones, entering those corners. That means an opportunity to pass. Drivers pushing to make something happen. You see contact in those areas.
Got 2 chicanes, one on the back straightaway. Both of them are high speed, but if you miss the mark here, you're going in.
That back stretch chicane is the best. Front stretch chicane, I'm not so sure, but I guess it's necessary.
Then on the front straightaway, newer chicane. Much like the one at the road.
NASCAR fucking up more racetracks. They fucked up Texas Motor Speedway, and now they're fucking up the Daytona road course with their new chicane. Nah, that new chicane will be fine. I didn't know if it would work well or not, but after seeing some of the ARCA stuff from last night, I think it'll work. And yeah, that track is wet. Get the rain tires out. I hope it rains more. Matter of fact, let's take a look at the weather. We can look at the weather right now, and we can do it together.
This is much longer. We expect lap times.
Daytona Beach weather.
So very long laps. You see.
Look at this. We really are in the future.
Eye of the racetrack. A 52-lap race. First stage, 15 laps.
Doesn't look like it's going to rain anymore today, unfortunately.
Stage, 22 laps.
But that also means no lightning, so
about 10 more
that's good too.
You know, everybody I talk says that somewhere 18 to 20 laps would make that final stage very awkward. It's just outside the fuel window, but that's really an educated guess.
Stage 1, 15 laps. Stage 2, 15. Final stage, 22. This will be fun. I've been really looking forward to this race.
We'll start with Dylan Welch.
And Rick, for Justin Allgaier, it's been a season of twists and turns, figuratively speaking. Consistency, especially in recent weeks, has been hard to come by, but the curves of the Daytona road course today are a cause for optimism for this team. Now, while he doesn't have the laps maybe of an Andy Lally or an AJ Allmendinger, he does have the knowledge of winning races on road courses. The team hopes that that knowledge and some lady luck can push them towards their first victory of 2020. Dave?
Dylan, today, Chase Briscoe will start second. He has more wins on the 2020 season than any other driver, but it's been 5 races since he won. So, is it a slump? I talked to his crew chief, Richard Boswell, this morning about that, and he said, right now, we're just getting beat. And as he knows, this looms very close to the playoffs. So they've got to get it back together. They hope today they can get back on their winning ways in 2020. Parker?
Well, Dave, as we watch these cars go around the pace lap, and Steve, you alluded to it, the wet racetrack out there. Well, what do you do in a wet racetrack? You put on wet tires. The problem we have here is this racetrack is obviously drying and it is not raining. So these teams are putting these tires on knowing that very quickly they'll probably lose the performance of these tires. If you look at them, you see those grooves in the wet tires. That's what makes the grip in the wet. But all those blocks, those grooves, those go away when you run on a dry track very quickly, and therefore they'll lose performance.
All right, so Rick, a change by NASCAR.
In-car
They've
cam,
moved it
let's
from a
open
wet
that up.
condition to damp. What that really means, what the fan needs to know, is what tire you start the race on.
I don't think this is allowed, though.
It's up to the crew
I just want to see what it
chief.
looks
No longer
like.
NASCAR saying everyone has to start on the reins. Now it's a brand new racetrack, and your driver has to go. And you see some cars rolling through pit road. That means they're going to stay on slicks. Noah Gragson rolled through. Other cars are in the pit box. They're going to put on treaded tires if they stop. So strategy already right away. You heard in the pre-race
We'll just
show,
fuck with the leaderboard
Brad Doherty
for
said,
now.
I would throw my notebook out. It's already gone. I've thrown it out with this decision right here. This is a major curveball for the race teams. You know, what tire combination you want to start on. And I really, you know, guys, drivers, we were talking about, I didn't think it looked very wet. You mentioned a couple standing water issues. This is going to have to be a...
You know, I guess I should get that thing up and have it up during the commercials.
A driver decision
So I can
with
take
a
a
lot of
peek.
drivers that have no way of making this decision, right? They have no
I'm just so
experience.
paranoid of getting
They don't have
copyright
the background to make
striked.
the
I don't want to
decision
get
on what tire
striked.
to put on. So, very difficult position for young drivers, well, not young drivers, but inexperienced drivers to make that
But I'll leave
decision.
that up during the
Almost want
commercials
that
there.
decision to come from the pit box if
And we'll
possible.
look over and...
Exactly. That's the problem. we're going to have here.
Make sure the sound's off on
Majority
it.
of the racetrack is going to dry right off real quickly, but down in turn 6, there's probably some standing water in the racing groove, maybe in the trough as the cars exit the tri-oval down onto the entrance to the road course. It holds water there pretty well. So those will be the only issues I think if you're a driver.
I haven't been on the NASCAR.com leaderboard in years.
You can dodge those problems as a track
I just
driver.
always just watch the race because I can. I'm very lucky to have all these stupid channels I need. NBCSN, Fox Sports 1, all that shit.
So there's a driver that is going to start on slicks. He's the first one that's going to get into turn 1.
Boy, I am
Coming through
struggling
5
here.
right here. When you exit this corner,
All these never-ending pace laps.
straight away into turn 6, and
Hurry up. Get me in the mood to watch a race. I'm not even in the mood to watch a race. I'm excited for this race, but I'm just like, bleh right now. Not feeling good. Physically, I feel fine. I'm well rested for once. For once in my life, I'm well rested.
You use them now, and it wears them out quickly. You only have one set left if it rains later.
We'll ride along with a few different drivers. There's going to be some pretty good perspective here, guys.
Yeah, see right here, Brandon Godovic. A lot of road course racing experience. The WinStacks Energy camera. It'll be fun watching him drive today.
Good Jeff Burton's son, Harrison Burton.
Don't say that, Junior.
Should have a great car today. And good looking camera there. Looking back at Harrison.
I like when it rains. Did it rain here? I didn't-
Haley.
Oh, yeah, it rained here. I heard it thundering a little while ago, but I never look outside, and yeah, it's rained like hell here. I'm in North Carolina. The race is in Florida, but it's rained
He's not
everywhere.
contending for the win.
God, it's raining everywhere.
He thinks he can win this race today.
Let's give it one more try to get a hold of Justin. See if we can talk to him about his race car. Justin Haley, Dale Jr. in the booth. You hear us? I can see him to you in the mic. It looks like we can hear him.
He wants to talk to you. He's trying.
You know, I think the one thing that I'd be interested in knowing is what kind of grip does the rain tire have? You know, a lot of these guys have that experience. I've ran on a rain tire in
Start the
competition
race.
here with the
Start the
NASCAR
race.
tire.
I like how the cones are turned over
Well, I was going to say, you know, I have questions
to
about
let them know
tires
the
as well.
chicane is coming.
98 and a conversation about tires here.
It's visually very satisfying.
I'm trying to get up to road speed. I didn't know it damp. I didn't know it was damp. I thought damp meant we were going to wet.
They can't tell us for the 30 minutes leading up to the race that it's a wet track and then change it coming to pit road.
So basically, that's frustration. So listen, there's 3 classifications. There's dry, which means the field will start on slicks. There's wet.
I think you can run this
which means
race
the
on
field will
slicks.
start on rain
Maybe
tires.
I'm wrong,
And
but
then
just looking
there's
at the
damp.
track, I think you can run on
And
slicks.
damp means
It's
up
going to
to
dry
you.
pretty fast.
And you know, this is NASCAR. This is not new to road
Virginia
racing.
Beach
This is
Street
not
got
new to
flooded,
this
so
track,
you
right?
can't
We see
leave.
this in
Wow.
sports car racing all the time, where the strategy of what tires to start on falls on the your responsibility.
I'm very fortunate. I happen to live on a road that's like on a slight hill. When it rains heavy, the water runs down my street like a river, and it just washes out down towards the banks that are out. There's like a 4-lane highway down the road from my house, and all the water washes there and goes over that and into the woods. But my street will look like a fucking river when it really starts
They
raining.
have to run cool. I don't see enough wet areas to cool rain tires, so it'll be interesting to see if they have to change their mind here, if they are going to commit to the wets. Yeah, that's
Slick
great.
tires, people.
Yeah,
It's going to be
you see a
slick
lot of turn
tires.
3 and 4 is dry right up against the wall. You can see, but way off in the distance there, it's a little wet up against the fence as the water's trying to run out of that safer barrier. You're going to have to take that rain tire and find moisture to keep the temperature out of it so that it doesn't destroy that tire.
Okay, maybe rain tires for the first stage, and then you switch to the regular tires after that. It's kind of weird because this racetrack is just weird. There's like standing water in the infield and on the back stretch, but the front stretch looks dry for the most part, except coming out of the corner.
It's really interesting, too. Like we saw, a lot of cars passing Briscoe. Like Briscoe was.
Oh,
really
I got
slow.
NASCAR heat for PC now, everybody.
Really interesting. You listen to that Briscoe conversation about tires.
Hooray.
They were under the impression you had to put on wet tires, right? And that's just. This series only runs a few road course races a year. It's something different, right? And you're just not completely comfortable in terminology can mean something. And they heard damp, but that didn't trigger saying, hey, we don't have to put on tires versus wet, meaning you have to put them on. And now, here they are, potentially at a big disadvantage.
Yeah, the devil's in the details. I'm going to tell you, though, when you talk about details at new tracks, Chase Briscoe is the man when it comes to new racetracks. It started in Charlotte at the Roval in 2018. Was the one who found the most successful here at the Roval, the high banks, the infield, a lot of conversation, Junior. Then they go to Indianapolis with this three-wide move I know you loved.
I did. I mean, he really worked to take this win away from these guys. It tells me that he can really adapt really quickly to new things. I think he'll be in the mix today. Cedric, I believe, has...
Aren't you glad that they're not doing the random draw anymore? Because AJ Allmendinger gets to start 11th now. Allmendinger doesn't have to start 30th every time he races.
It's like to a different level when he needs to. He does some great things. Certainly did that in Indianapolis this year.
Saw there 3 for 3 at new tracks. They want to make it.
You see him going down
He's
there.
going to go for some water.
It's water on them tires. Going fast.
But look at this high speed, this really high speed part of the racetrack. This drop, that is going to eat those tires up. We're also hearing that the 10 right behind the 98 of Ross Chastain, we're hearing he has rain tires on as well.
I wonder why they have that procedure. Why don't they just allow the crew chiefs to manage this, the drivers to manage this on their own, Steve?
The track looks damp enough in most places for rain
On
tires.
how the owners and the drivers want this to go, and I think at one
Andy
point
Lally
they
with a
wanted
top
to
10
determine
starting
wet
spot.
or dry, and then I think you got to this point where NASCAR doesn't want to make the
You gotta love
determination because the track surface. That's how they came up with this damp
Yes, they're going green
procedure.
this
Jeff
time.
mentioned it.
I'm
We just
going
haven't
to
seen
refresh the
a lot of wet
leaderboard
weather
one time.
starts. We've seen some wet weather issues in the middle of the race, but this is one of the only few I can remember where we started in at least a little bit of a wet condition.
And it shows you how easily you can get confused and kind of get behind a little bit. Be interesting to see how this works out. I know, could it be an advantage? I mean, could the other guys have made a mistake not putting slicks
Yeah,
on?
we're going green this time.
Well, it's so interesting watching
That
these
backstretch
guys
looks
warm
way
up
wetter
because
than the rest of the
Austin Cindric
racetrack
has
for some
slicks
reason.
on. He's trying to heat his tires up, get as much grip as he can in them.
This could be a disaster. I didn't see the start of the ARCA race. I saw the middle part and the end of the ARCA race. But this could be a disaster.
So much experience at this place. Earl Bamber, listening to his radio.
So, question? I think one of these guys is going to be in trouble after a lap because there's more dry area than there is wet. There can be...
So my call was, at first I said put on slicks, and then I saw damp parts of the track and said, well, put rain tires on for stage one. Now I'm thinking you should just have slicks on.
I'm telling you, if I'm
I don't
sitting on
know.
wets, I'm considering coming to the green and putting slicks on. I just don't think there's anywhere near wet. Rick, you've showed us a bunch that all the drivers that
I
have
don't know.
experience on this racetrack.
Like I said, this could be a clusterfuck of epic proportions.
And the list of names that have been on the road.
Allmendinger, Bamber, Josh Balicki, Chase Briscoe, Cindric, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Andy Lally. I'm not surprised. Of course, he's run this track before.
So Rick, for the strategy to work fuel-wise, these guys on wets need to try to get to like lap 10 or 11 or 12. That's
Oh,
a
boy.
long time, drivers. I'm not sure we're going to be able to make 10 laps on these wet tires.
There's no rain coming. Like, there's no rain coming for these guys on wets.
Hey, I got my first dislike of the day. You're a cunt.
Field in the hands of Austin Cindric. Cindric Briscoe making up row one.
The dislikes are winning.
Being made today. The Xfinity Series on the road course at Daytona.
Get cable. Oh boy, here comes turn one. Everybody shake yourselves.
For this right here, turn one.
God, how did Cindric and Briscoe go so wide?
The guys on the front row missed turn one entirely.
They both went in. Wow.
Cindric and Briscoe back to third and fourth.
Gregson got the lead out of that somehow. Okay, nobody's died yet. We just had a couple of cars go wide in turn one.
Second row to watch those other guys go in there and see how they handle it.
Through the king, it's Noah Gregson who's out front now. Cindric and Briscoe running in the second and third position. But here comes Briscoe on the outside.
This is turn 5. And it's the 180-degree corner now heading into turn 6, which would be the exit of the infield up onto the high banks.
All right, this corner's wet. This corner down here is going to be tough for these guys on slicks. Noah's going to miss the corner just a little bit, but he gets the power down a little bit better than the 22. Oh, he almost. It's a little loose right there.
Gregson blew that corner and Cindric took the lead.
They painted over that yellow line. That's going to be really slick for a little bit until that dries off.
First time
I can't believe we're
this.
watching a NASCAR race on the Daytona road course.
It's a heavy braking zone. This is where experience will really matter.
Here's a restart.
NASCAR cuts to a replay of something we saw when it happened. Or NBC, not NASCAR.
Both really lucky to not get too deep into the grass there, because that grass, you know, is going to have zero grip.
You heard from Dale Jr., don't go in the grass.
How long they're out of the gas. How
It's not
slow
good.
that corner is.
So it looks like it's going to be a clean first lap. Cindric. Oh, Briscoe missed the front stretch chicane.
Before he got to that pace,
And they're completely missing it because they're just watching shit that we already saw.
pulled over on the racetracks in the 98. I think he missed the chicane on the front straightaway.
Dale Jr. on his game as always.
NASCAR wants you to come to a stop if you miss the chicane.
If they would stop worrying about replays of what happened the first lap, they would have seen that.
Or the turning ability or grip in the corner that he's accustomed to.
If you don't make that, if you don't stop on the racetrack, it's a stop and go penalty. You got to come down pit road and stop.
It's such a discipline for a driver to be on a tire with less grip, to not drive in the corner with the other cars that are on the
Refresh the
slicks.
leaderboard one more
He's
time
trying to
to get it
maintain
up
as
to
much
date.
track position as he can, but he knows that he can't get into the corner like some of these other guys can. Let's see what happened. It just got that started way back on the entry to that chicane. He's offline, couldn't get back to the left to be able to be pointed toward the apex that he needed.
God, look back there. Who was that?
With a
Sieg?
huge lockup. 39 of Sieg. He's going to have to probably get that tire looked at. He won't survive a lockup like that here, guys, because of how much time you're in the banking up on the oval at high speed.
So, you know, we talked about this at the roll.
But what about the competition car? Whoa.
Charlotte's one thing. That's a mile and a half.
Look out.
You know, relatively high bank.
Hey, Casgralla's in the 3 car tomorrow. That's a thing. Austin Dillon's got coronavirus. Don't know if y'all heard about that.
So you mentioned that loading. That would be my biggest concern as a
So Casgralla gets his first cup start tomorrow.
Good handling down here in the bus stop when we change direction. But as we climb the banking here, we got to make sure the splitter stays off the ground, that the tires don't have too much camber, that they can survive a fuel run. Right along with Haley here. Let's see how he navigates this front straightaway chicane. This is something that they put in specifically for the NASCAR races. Whoa!
Whoa!
Big trouble.
Another miss.
Chastain blew the chicane. Justin Haley. Wow, both college cars.
The right, all 4 right side tires were on the wrong side of the curbing, so they're going to have to both stop.
Chastain and Haley missed the front stretch chicane.
Right there.
AJ Allmendinger's, wow, Allmendinger's up to 3rd. Because everybody's driving like an idiot.
So Ross Chastain misses the entrance.
And Justin Haley misses exit. You see how easy it is to miss that chicane. Ross did a good smart thing right there, though. Once he knew he's going to miss it, watch Ross Chastain right here. He throttles up. Go ahead and get out of it. Get out of it as quick as you can, then stop. That really was a smart thing to do. It also avoided a collision.
Yeah, I was watching, as you're seeing the replay here.
They just keep showing replays. I know they've got like split screen, but like they're obsessing over these replays. NBC, stop.
Everybody's going up there, but it actually put him in a really good position to enter into that chicane and be able to brake straight line braking. You can't brake when
I
you're
hope
turning
that for the sake of the guys on rain tires, they can get through this first stage.
Into 6. Now there is water all the way across the racetrack right here. So these guys on slicks, they're going to get it wet. There's standing water right here.
Yeah, they're looking wherever they can get that moisture and try to put the wets in that.
You hear Haley struggling, going back to the throttle. That's just no grip. Running through that wet.
So again, some cars came, stopped on that first pace lap and put on wet tires. It was the team's option. Some put on the wet tires, others stayed.
For some reason, I feel like this is a hard race to follow.
Some teams change their mind. The 98 has come to pit road, taken off the rain tires, put the slicks
Briscoe's
on
pitted to
under
put
green.
on
Just,
slick
the wrong
tires.
tire choice. Not a lot of experience at this facility, not a lot on the tires. So on the slick.
This is such a hard race to follow. It's just because it's a track I've barely watched in my life. I can count on one hand the number of races I've actually paid attention to on the Daytona road course. So I'm learning too.
This time, last time I rode along with him, we heard it wheel hop. Missed the corner. Got through there really well.
That's the way to get through there.
A little side by side here.
Hey, Andy Lally still in the top 10. And hey, Chastain and Haley really didn't lose that much when they had to do their stop and go penalty. They're still in the top 5. Whoa, well, Haley overdrove that corner. And Andy Lally takes the spot back. Told you, man, Andy Lally's no joke. Cup Rookie of the Year, what, 2011 or something? Or was it 2010? I can't remember. Or was that, no, that was Kevin Conway, 2010.
Justin's car, see what they're talking about.
These guys off of Big Track 4 get to the wall to set their
They call it Big Track 4.
Work on that in the sim at all.
I still call the oval turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 because I can't remember what number they are on the road course. So when I say they're coming out of 4, that means they're coming down the front stretch. Allmendinger passed Gregson for second.
Not try to slow the car down while you're turning. So you stay low entering.
God, the cars get really spread out on this course. I'm just not used to seeing Daytona and not seeing cars close together. It's a real mindfuck. I don't know if it is for you guys, but look at this. We're at Daytona. It's a NASCAR race, and everybody's like 2 seconds apart. What is this, 1979?
Look at the gap they gained from 3rd to 4th.
Well, I was going to tell you, the leaders.
Cindric is smooth,
6
man.
to 7 seconds.
That's no surprise.
Faster than mid-pack. I mean, this is a gigantic time gap. Rick, you talk about the challenge of a new track.
Those guys in mid-pack will be real happy to see a stage break.
Taking place here at Daytona. Again, some started on racing slick, some started
Because like they said, these guys are about 4 seconds faster than the middle of the pack. Cindric, Allmendinger, Gregson, Andy Lally. So happy I can talk about Andy Lally running the top 10, top 5. So I guess I don't have these cameras. I wanted to flip to these during the commercial. They're side by side right now on the broadcast, so I'm just going to pay attention to that. Justin Haley and Andy Lally having a hell of a battle. I think you're going to get your Andy Lally money today. If you don't piss Justin Haley off, ask Riley Herbst what's like to piss off Justin Haley. Although I think Haley has infinitely more respect for Andy Lally than he does Riley fucking Herbst. And who wouldn't? This is such a bizarre experience to watch this race. We're on lap 5 of 15 in stage 1. I'm not even seeing how often the leaderboard's updating. 4 laps complete. We're on lap 5. You're watching the Justin Haley in-car cam. I bet that's a pretty good camera to be watching right now. I don't know why it ain't popping up for me. Show me Haley. Whatever. Watching the race on TV. Watching Allmendinger and Gregson right now. Allmendinger's taking that dude to school. I would like to be in a road course race and follow AJ Allmendinger. So Gregson, I'm very envious of him right now. You just sit there and watch somebody that knows what they're doing. That chicane on the front stretch is so awkward because you're running right on the double yellow line the whole time you're on the banking, and then halfway through 3 and 4. Oh, Gregson overshot the fucking chicane. He's got to stop now. You got to, like, get wide in the corner to position yourself for the front stretch chicane. It's so weird. And, yeah, there's the stop and go penalty for Gregson. He didn't lose a lot of time, though. Well, there's Chastain. Chastain just passed him for 3rd. So we're seeing guys shoot through the chicane. You know why this race is not as messy as the Roval can be? The Roval's not that big. There's not a lot of space at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This track is so big. There's like runoff room for days on this course.
High definition in-car camera. All you got to do is visit NASCAR.com/drive. You can download that mobile app today. And we're focusing in right now on the 9 of Noah.
So how are we going to fit this on the schedule next year?
The new chicane and had to come to a
I know it's going to be the Busch Clash. It's going to be on the Daytona road course, but now that we're seeing points races on this, I don't want it to go away. I want this to be a new thing.
Trying to keep up with one of the best in business, just cooked it in there a little hot, has to pull over down here. I asked you, Steve, is this blue area where they had to stop? You said, that, yeah, NASCAR wants them to get beyond pit entrance.
Yeah, so right here to the left, you know, Greg, you want them to stop right away, but this is the entrance to pit road, so they want the drivers to go up past the entrance to pit road, stop. That's much safer, right? Because you don't know at what point in the race if somebody's going to try to peel in there. Here's a guy.
Centric's almost 25 seconds. What is this, NASCAR heat? He's 25 seconds ahead of 10th.
He might get the spot back to Noah. This is going to be a race of mistakes, I really think, right? It's
God, it really is. Cindric, Allmendinger, and everybody else has no idea what they're doing. This is like the most lopsided race I've ever seen. At least it seems like that's how it's going to be. It seems like it's going to be a very lopsided event.
Now, it's a big time penalty, but it's not a position penalty, so to speak. So I'm okay with those mistakes. Learn how far you can drive the car to the corner. And the drivers that we've seen make mistakes so far have done it.
7th, 8th, and 9th, Allgaier, Harrison Burton, and Michael Annett.
Something really, with no more track time than these guys have, you can expect it. You can expect those mistakes.
Well, and Jeff, you know, it's a 52-lap race. We're only 6 laps in, right? Start to fill your belt, because at some point, I would imagine you're going to go in there challenging, right? I mean, it starts kind of in survival, but at some point in this race, it's going to move into
Michael
a
Annett.
race. And a
He's
trophy.
smoking
You
the
have to be
tires
the
there.
best. So you hope you have learned all of those things early.
Listen into a little radio. We listen into A.J. Allmendinger's communications.
Going forward drive, buddy. I got no turn at all. Just in the right hander. Ain't no forward drive. It's fast. It's really, really far off.
Allmendinger says he has no turn in the right-handers, but he's running second, driving away from everybody behind him. He's got a 12-second gap on Ross Chastain, who's in third. But Allmendinger's struggling. He's 4 seconds back of Cindric, though, so I see why he's frustrated. That could be where the struggle is at.
And I noticed, Jeff, that the front camber, basically how much the front tires tipped in, the right front of that 16 versus 6, dramatically different. You can visually see it. I'm not saying which I think is right or wrong, I don't know, but you can see definite different schools of thought between two organizations.
You know, many times, Xfinity teams, you know, will lean on Cup teams or the other way around, you know, but that's not going to work this week. There's no experience from anyone.
Austin Cindric is out front, has almost a 4-second lead over A.J. Allmendinger, who we're seeing here on the screen. Then it's Ross Chastain, Noah Gragson, and Justin Haley all up in the top 5. Just outside of it, Andy Lally has the 6th spot. Justin Allgaier is 7th. Harrison Burton is 8th. Michael Annett 9th. And Riley Herbst is rounding out the top 10. Bobby Reyes.
Oh, it's not Timmy Hill, it's Bobby Reyes. Okay.
And I think we could expect
They didn't trust Timmy Hill to run this race? The Intimidator?
Use this first stage to get familiar, to understand what this racetrack's all about. Let's take a lap with Justin Haley. Front straightaway.
I love the ride-alongs on these road courses. These are the most fascinating onboard camera shots you'll get. It'll be funny when they're on board with him and he just fucking locks up and goes into the wall coming into the horseshoe or something.
Low and straight. A little bit of a twisting straight right here. Get way to the left side of the racetrack. Set up turn 3. Essentially a tight 90-degree corner. Trying to get rear grip right here, get the rear tires to hook up to get you down this short chute.
Listen to how slow and easy back to the throttle he's forced to be. There's a little bend right here. Half throttle through there. And that sets up another.
I want to drive this track in a video game.
Very, very slow, out wide.
NASCAR Heat hooked me up. It's the only fucking racing game I have.
Apex, he doesn't quite get there.
This corner right here is vital for lap time. Listen to that downshift.
And I got it on PC now, so hooray.
Another long sweeper. It leads to what we're accustomed to seeing. Daytona Big Track, turn number 1. They're going to be in this banking all the way to turn 7 into turn 8. This part of the racetrack's not very challenging for the drivers, but I can promise you're thinking about this one coming up. This rear chicane is going to be a great passing opportunity.
I can't wait till we can get these cars bunched back up together now that everybody's had a 15-lap practice session here to figure everything out. You need Haley and Chastain to place better than Hemrick. Well, I think you're going to get that money.
Around turn 3.
Certainly, if this race didn't have stages and went green all the way, you'd be guaranteed to get that money. I don't know what it would take to get a full course caution on this motherfucker, but it would take a lot. I don't know. It's NASCAR. Maybe it wouldn't take that much.
Coming over the front straightaway there. Very similar. Real tight exit. Slow exit. Power down's hard. Hear it. Back to the gears. Back across the start-finish line.
10:34 seconds. That's what I said. I'm like, and it's weird because when you see the cars on the banking and it looks like they're just racing regular Daytona, it's like, what is this? No restrictor plates? That's what it would be like if they didn't run restrictor, the tapered spacer. They don't run plates anymore. The tapered spacer at Talladega and Daytona.
told me that it is amazing how slow it is.
That's how it would look.
Slow, that means it's difficult, right? If the cars can just fly through there, it's because the car's driving well.
I can't believe Andy Lally's so far behind.
The grip level and the tire.
Then again, it's a big enough racetrack to where horsepower matters, and I would be willing to bet Andy Lally is neutered by his lack of horsepower on the high-speed parts of the track.
We'll have to see as the race plays on. You guys mentioned that new chicane off of turn 4 of the oval. Well, we've seen a bunch of guys miss it. Well, the issue is if you think you might miss it, you either abort or you do this. You see how hard that 36 of Preston Hart has hit those curbs, those turtles.
Cindric hit the curb on the first lap, but that's like the only thing that I've seen Cindric do wrong. On the first lap, on the first time through the front stretch chicane, he bounced off the curb.
Side impact into the suspension, that's just so unique. I don't see that in any other type of racetrack.
There's a lot of dead air on this broadcast.
Cedric out front here. Hey, race fans, you create your best rendition of the iconic Start Your Engines for a chance to be featured during Indy 500 pre-race coverage, plus a chance to win an advanced auto parts.
Hey, Allmendinger's not that far behind now. I feel like he's reeling Cindric in a little bit.
Don't forget to tweet with #IndyCar.
The leaderboard doesn't show it, but it looked like he was closer this last lap than he has been the whole race.
The last 10 road course races. That's the longest streak all time. You go NASCAR nonstop.
Thinking about streaming after the race too. I don't know what I'm going to stream. We need to do more Batman shit. Considering it because I don't want to sit here and think tonight by myself. That's never fun. I need something to keep me busy. Fifth place is 27 seconds behind. So yeah. Hey, there's a big battle there. Brandon Jones and Preston Pardis, and is that Jeremy Clements? I wish it would rain more, but all the rain is gone now. It's just going to be cloudy for the rest of the race. I was hoping for a nice, wet race. Although, it looks like it's going to rain again tomorrow, which means probably we'll get at least 1 or 2 lightning delays, which sucks. But at least this road course has lights. The ARCA race looked incredible. Nighttime road course racing was something I've always said we should have. I was like, why don't they put lights up at Sonoma? It would be easier to light Sonoma than it would be Watkins Glen. And they need to put lights in the Charlotte infield too. But there's enough shit in the infield at Charlotte that obstructs the view of the lower seats. So put a bunch of big light poles up, and you would lose a little bit of visibility. Not a lot, because, I mean, look how slim the poles are. So, yeah, they could do it at Charlotte. I would personally like to see that. And run the All-Star race on the Roval. That'd be fun. And also put another fucking playoff race on a Saturday night so you're not trying to dick with the NFL on Sundays. Because I got to be honest with you. If the race gets even slightly boring on an NFL Sunday, I still have it on, but I wind up paying way more attention to the football games. Yeah, Briscoe pitted. If you remember, Briscoe did come down pit road. They were screwed at the start of the race because they put the wet tires on a track that's like 80% dry. They put the rain tires on. So a couple of laps in, he went and pitted and put slicks on. That's why he's so far back. But, yeah, it's been a rough race for him anyhow. Got a battle between Allgaier and Andy Lally for 5th place.
First round playoff action tonight. Game 3 between the top-seeded Vegas Golden Knights and the Chicago Blackhawks. Vegas leading that series 2-0. Coverage beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC. There's nothing like playoff hockey. You're watching Xfinity Series Racing, the UNOH 188 at the Daytona Road Course, and still out front is Austin Cindric.
Never thought I'd see cars getting lapped this soon on this track. But you saw Cindric and Allmendinger passing lappers.
0-2, Allgaier in the 7.
Yeah, I think all the drivers in the field, Andy's probably had the most success at this racetrack.
Allgaier started 17th.
Allgaier and Allmendinger made the most moves at the start of the race, although Allmendinger was much faster.
I expect Justin Allgaier to be good at, just with his patience and his experience. You know, I know this year's been frustrating. This is a team that, you know, expected to win races.
Look at how high they're running in the banking of 1 and 2 now.
The talent behind the wheel of the 7, it's
Now they moved down, but it looked like they were going to run the wall.
It's almost his mental approach, very patient at times. And, you know, this type of challenge, I haven't seen him really make a mistake. He hasn't missed any corners yet.
Yeah, the one thing I like about Justin is he attacks. You know, he takes every opportunity. I remember a couple years ago winning in Chicago, didn't have the best car, but the way he attacks on restarts, one of the most impressive things about him. Even, you know, at his age, he races like a younger driver. You think that as a driver gets
Now
older,
Cindric's really gapped Allmendinger. What happened with Allmendinger? He was like 4 seconds back. Now he's 12 back. According to the ticker, he was 12 back. What happened?
Very serious. So he's been stalking this 02 car, trying to figure out a way around.
By the way, we've been NASCAR nonstop in every commercial this stage. We haven't missed a lap. That's crazy. Because I haven't had a chance to look at my phone.
He gets a lot of positions on restarts with that aggressiveness. Talking about Andy Lally, you know, a lot of people have talked about drivers, competitors have talked about being concerned about him. This is really good equipment he's driving. We've seen Brett Moffitt do a good job in this car. He's got really good equipment, and we know his talent.
7-time class winner as far as Andy Lally, so he has had great success here. Andy Lally, 45 years old. You mentioned at his age, Justin Allgaier's 34 years old. Allgaier probably learning a lot from Lally on this road course.
Lally ran the IMSA race.
Yeah, something had to have happened for Allmendinger to lose 8 seconds on top of the time he was already off, so I don't know what happened. Chastain just blew a corner. There goes Gregson around him. Oh, no, Chastain. Oh, is that a transmission? Transmission, yeah. Wow. Is he going to make it back to pit road? He's pretty far away from pit road.
Rick, we saw the back of that car dance side to side, so that can happen with the rear brakes. The areas he's talking about, a gearing issue. It can also happen because you either downshift too early.
What a bad season for Ross Chastain. He really just hasn't had a great season. And Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton has smoke in the car. Chastain's not going to make it to pit road. This could be a full course caution.
11 straight top 10 finishes.
Oh, Justin Haley goes around through the backstretch chicane. We got a caution because Chastain stopped. Haley spun through the chicane on the backstretch. We have a caution.
Guys, any chance that we just saw several cars have an issue here?
Andy Lally's third. Hello. Allmendinger's on pit road. Wow. Did Allmendinger get on pit road before the caution come out?
Good strategy call by the 16. And you mentioned that the 10 coasting.
There you go. We got a full course yellow.
You're saying, I wonder. I don't know. We had Harrison Burton with smoke. We had one car breaking transmission. Haley backwards. I don't know if it's oil, weather, just bad timing. We saw the smoke inside the car from 20. Let's see how we get there. This is turn 6.
Wheel hop into turn 6.
Ooh.
The 11.
Ooh. Yeah, Burton had spun out coming back onto the track.
Here's the 11 of Justin Haley.
Oh, Haley hit the freaking grass on the backstretch chicane. He got over that yellow curb and just ripped into the grass. How's the splitter look? Because that seemed like pretty intense contact.
If you guys drop a wheel here or there, it's going to be a big, deep rut. It could rip the whole suspension off the car.
Good God, he got airborne.
Yeah, we thought the 11 had the the risk of getting stuck in the mud with guys.
And then Jeremy Clements followed him. It was at Pardis. Pardis. Their cars looked similar, and that was far away.
It's destroyed.
It looks like Clemens in there behind him, getting into the tire barrier.
This is day over.
Yeah, look at the 11 car. My God.
That lap for Colleague Racing.
That was a very expensive lap for Colleague.
Two cars essentially out of the race. This is foul.
All right, so we talk about information.
Well, it's been an interesting race so far.
I'm telling you this now, right?
At least I don't need to give you the running order now. You can see it right there on the screen. Allmendinger pitted and he's 6th. He pitted and he's still in the top 10.
It's a day ender. So, I mean, I know you don't mean to miss it, but let you know the potential implications of the going off track there.
For sure. I mean, you can tell how deep a rut that is. It's so sandy, the soft ground just gets eaten.
Justin Haley was very inconsistent today. I had high expectations for him given his experience.
Few cars go through there.
Recreates those ruts.
But he was sliding, spinning out, and everything today.
Before the caution came out, he was indeed.
At least he didn't take anybody with him.
The caution came out, so he's good there. Actually, the end of his pit stop. Fuel can stays plugged in.
So in my mind, that's going to be a penalty. Out of what NASCAR says, but that's servicing out of the box. This is the conversation. Remember, used to have lug nuts get tightened out of the pit box.
That shouldn't be a penalty. The gas can didn't come out of the box.
So NASCAR finally had to get very clear. You can provide no service to your car. In my mind, that gas can is absolutely still plugged in. So Parker, we're going to have to see if that's a penalty on the 16.
Right, Steve, and it's a really big deal for the 16 as we saw a lot go on there with the Colleague cars across all 3 of them. Last week, they lost that race at Road America by not pitting before a caution came out when Allmendinger was leading that race.
Be right back.
So as they saw the issues there for the 10, they got him onto pit road. You saw that the 11 had his issue, the caution came out, and now they're going to have that penalty, unfortunately, on the 16, even though they executed appropriately and got on pit road.
Mistakes, right?
So you go back, I was talking about communicating about how much issue it could be in the bus stop. I'm also, if I'm Ryan Wilson, crew chief for Austin Cindric at 22, I'm going to let him know that our closest competitor, AJ Allmendinger, has now had a penalty. So
they gave Allmendinger the penalty.
Let's knock her back to 90%. Keep our car.
Oh boy, yeah, Haley and Chastain. Yeah, we jinxed them. They're fucked.
But let's see how we do it. As we see, some cars choose to pit. The 9
Tragic.
Pit road, the 22 stays out. I assume trying to get that most important playoff point. Parker.
Right, and Noah Gregson's been struggling with rolling through the corners as he gets off the brakes, just doesn't quite have the grip inside that 9 car. They're going to do 4 slick tires there and fill full fuel of the 9 for Noah Gregson. Dylan?
Parker Andy Lally is in, been running inside the top 5 so far. Just complaining he needs anything for forward bite. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at it on this.
The stage might restart with 1 to go in the stage. The track's big enough. I feel like they can do it. Thought pit road was closed with 2 to go, even under caution in stages. I don't know.
They were going to try to pit under green because they had a gap between themselves and leader Austin Cindric, and to get themselves back in the race. But this yellow has been good for them. They'll stay out at the stage break.
So a few have chosen to stay out, others on pit road. Sprint to the pit.
Do you think NASCAR should do time penalties like an iRacing instead of that stop and go shit on the front stretch? Food for thought. I just really feel like this race needed a goddamn practice session. What have I been saying for the last month leading up to this race? They were going to regret not practicing. We need to have a practice session. And look at all the shit that's gone down in this first stage. So, we definitely should have had a practice session. And I don't know what the fuck is up with NBC today, but their coverage is all over the place. Like, it's not good today. Then again, they're in Charlotte calling a road course race that's in Daytona. So, and they're going to hold Allmendinger a lap? That is such a harsh penalty for that. Penalizing Allmendinger a lap. 22 minutes ago on Allmendinger's radio, he was told by a spotter, remember, that guy's an idiot, talking about Noah Gragson. See, everybody thinks Gregson's a fucking moron. That was on his race. Something happened like 20 minutes ago. He was just warned about how being around Gregson that something dumb could happen. Yeah, I give NBC a D minus so far for their coverage today. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, practice. There's tracks we've been to 100 times, don't need it, but maybe when we go to a road course for the first time, we should practice. And we're back.
Make sure to check out the greatest selection of t-shirts, hats, die-casts, much more for all your favorite drivers. All you have to do is visit NASCAR.com/shop. All right, Steve, big story. The 16 team. Explain what happened.
Yeah, so we questioned if he got on pit road before the yellow. He did. Everything was successful there. He stopped in his pit box, but then when the service was over, right
Colleague Racing
it's still plugged
is
in.
fucking
The
themselves in the
car
ass
leaves
so
the
bad
pit
today.
box. So in my mind, I was thinking removing equipment because maybe the gas can leaves. That's not the penalty.
The gas can never
penalty
left,
is
but it was still
servicing
engaged while
the
Allmendinger was
car
out of the box.
outside the pit box. The difference is that's one lap, Rick. AJ Allmendinger and the 16 team will be penalized 1 lap for pitting outside of the pit box.
That's a
We've
little
already
harsh
documented,
for
that's
me.
about 4 miles. So it's a long ways. Now, he may get very lucky here. With 1 lap to go, can he get himself in the free pass position and get really fortunate at the end? I'm not sure, but let's listen to what the 16 team said.
Why do I pit outside the box? I think it's just because the gas can was still engaged when we rolled out of the box. Second, remove equipment. That is what they called the first time. And then as we got to the pit box there, they changed it to a 1 lap pitting outside the box penalty.
So basically,
NASCAR really wants Cindric to win, so you guys saw it at Kansas the lengths NASCAR will go to try to get Cindric a fucking win. So fucking Allmendinger that hard is definitely going to do it. We're going to restart 1 to go in the stage. They're actually going to have a lap here.
So I'm right with them, but that is servicing the car outside the box 1 lap.
I guess the can never left the box.
Right.
Yeah, it's still servicing it.
1 lap shootout here.
1 lap
for
shootout.
Stage 1, Austin Cindric, who stayed out on the racetrack. Will be fighting against Michael Annett now. As they dive into 1 again, 1 lap until they get to stage 1.
4 wide going to turn 1. Further back there, 3 wide, still through turn 1. 3 wide, 3 wide. Daniel Hemrick's going into the guardrail, and they just completely missed it. Daniel Hemrick just crashed.
Hemrick went off. It looked like driver's right, back in turn 2.
Did he? Oh, wow, Gregson drove it in and doored the shit out of Riley Herbst.
I'm sure they knew there.
Oh, look at that. Hemrick crashed, and they're just now going, wow, looks like Hemrick drove off the track there.
I didn't know he got off.
What was this, ESPN?
He has.
Daniel Hemrick is just,
Daniel Hemrick
he has not had
has
a good year
no
at all.
luck.
If something go wrong, it seems to.
Who was in second? Jade Buford? I had to look at the leaderboard to find the guy's name.
So that's why we're not seeing a caution right now. They won't get back around to Daniel at speed.
So you see right here, everybody kind of stacks up. There's the 8, the orange 8, squeezed in the middle, and somebody.
He goes off the track and nose into the guardrail, and I saw it, and NBC's just like, oh, Daniel Hemrick off track.
The arm goes there, you obviously see a big problem.
And there's that grass, you're not going to stop in it. It's so wet.
Well, Cindric's driven away again.
Yep, that's right. The 07 of Jade Buford right now fighting for second.
Side by side through here is tight.
Side by side with Gregson, that's risky business. He has a tendency to just run into people.
Bus stop there.
They make
The
it, though.
32-year-old from Houston, Texas, making just his 3rd Xfinity start this season, is going to hold on for 3rd, it looks like, as they're coming up to the final chicane here of stage 1. And Austin Cindric
Don't give it to him until he gets through the chicane.
staying perfect.
Cindric wins stage 1.
The last road course.
Try to act
Wins
surprised.
Stage 1 from Daytona.
Look, I'm sorry. I just got to... Somebody blew through the chicane way back there.
Earl Bamber. In that
Earl Bamber, 5th.
finish in stage 1.
Brandon Brown gets stage points.
Brown and that.
You know, I'm not a Cindric hater, but NASCAR sucks off Cindric so fucking hard. And it's, like, blatantly obvious. Like I said, go back and watch the Xfinity race from Kansas and tell me that they weren't just trying to help him get a win. And then at Texas, too. Texas was even worse. Oh, Allgaier gets a penalty we never call. Oh, Kyle Busch failed post-race. Like, and then just now, they're going to take a lap from Allmendinger. It's like, give me a break. There's such a fine line between removing equipment from the box or pitting outside the box. Don't you feel like removing equipment should be harsher than pitting outside the box? I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just work here. Somebody wake up Rick Allendale Jr. and the boys because they're just fucking asleep in the booth today. I don't know. So a friend of mine gifted me Gary's mod on Steam. Do I need to know anything about that game? Because the game seems kind of retarded. But he wants somebody to play with. Just going to look at something on here. Oh well. I forget now. Oh my god, an NFL commercial. Get hopped. Anybody watch Hard Knocks the other night? For anybody here who gives a shit about the NFL, did you watch Hard Knocks? Hard Knocks gave me hope that this NFL season can work. I have hope. Yeah, Allgaier's been good on road courses for quite some time now. Low-key good. Kind of like Jamie McMurray. Low-key really good on road courses.
Weekend it will be next weekend. See, on Saturday, Xfinity Series race number 1, Cup Series race number 1, then Sunday.
Dover doubleheaders out the ass next weekend.
Don't forget the Indianapolis 500.
Oh yeah, and a little race called the Indianapolis 500.
Sports networks that you will definitely be able to find some great racing that you can enjoy.
So Rick, this could be very interesting. Cindric, who's by far been the dominant car, stayed out, got that win, which is great. A very important playoff point, but now he's going to have to come to pit road and look at the amount of cars that are going to stay on the racetrack. So even though I know he has a great car, we just saw how chaotic.
I was going to put Cindric in the back. Maybe he'll get junked. Nah, Cindric will get junked, and NASCAR will allow the 22 team to get their backup car out. They'll park every car responsible for Cindric wrecking and then allow him to get his backup car out.
Michael Annette is in, racing inside the top 10, and he's reporting as well, struggling with drive off. They have a good car turning in the center of the corner, though. They're pretty happy with this one car. Just the rear air pressure adjustment on the one, Dave.
Austin Cindric was thinking what Steve Letarte was thinking. Man, I'm going to have a long way to go, but crew chief Brian Wilson assured him, you've got the car.
Who was the free pass car?
In stage 1. He's not happy with the car, though. They made some air pressure adjustments to try to help him out.
Not a lot of cars making their way onto pit road.
No, I have Cindric's going to probably restart back in the 20s somewhere.
That's rough.
And, you know, we heard DJ talk about this earlier, right?
Well, Allmendinger can't take advantage, so I'm pretty sure he's still a lap down.
As well, as good as Cindric is, you still have to understand what everybody else is fighting, right? Someone else's mistake can end his day. So it's very difficult to try to work through traffic and, you know, not put yourself in harm's way. We saw how easy Daniel Hemrick got pushed off course and got into the barrier. I'm not sure he did anything wrong, but the result is still the same.
Well, we mentioned earlier that the Cup racers are going to be watching this race very closely, and somebody who's staying in communication with them is Rutledge Wood. Hey, Rut, what have you been hearing?
Hey, Rut.
The guys that are racing on Sunday.
God.
Well, Rick, been talking to a bunch of guys, hearing a lot of interesting stuff, but the coolest thing is we got Cole Custer that's actually joining us right now via Zoom. So, Cole, what I want to find out from you, who's watching, what are you noticing? What jumps out for you? What are you trying to learn from watching this race today, buddy?
Look at that picture on the wall behind Custer.
Right now, I just see absolute chaos. So it's seems like anything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong so far. So it's, I mean, what's going to come down, it looks like, is mistakes. I mean, you got to try and limit your mistakes, and you know, a lot of times that's what road course racing is.
Ew, he's got a Carolina Panthers thing on his wall. Hey, Janet.
Find themselves in a good position, but it's just
Custer's got Carolina Panthers on the wall. Get that shit out of here.
You know, rain in the mix and all kinds of things that are different that people haven't seen before. It's going to be a lot about trying to manage your mistakes throughout the race.
I'm feeling like an Arby's milkshake here in a little while. I don't know about you.
Worried, like a lot of other drivers would be, because
I'm kind of feeling that.
Safe for the playoffs, am I right?
I mean, these guys are making me nervous today. It looks treacherous out there, so I wouldn't say I'm not nervous going in tomorrow, but overall, it does take some stress off that we can go out there and just race hard, and you know, we know we're going to be in the playoffs and then fight.
Well, good luck tomorrow, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Rick, so cool that these guys are watching and joining us today. How awesome is that?
It is awesome, and we appreciate it.
Oh, I've been watching every damn lap. Well, I kind of am anyway, but if I was driving, I would have onboard cameras and everything. I would be studying this.
In the playoffs, so he has,
because it's pretty fucking clear that there's only 2 drivers out here that know what they're doing. Maybe 3, because all guys been pretty solid today. Give Briscoe time. Now that Briscoe's up front on the right tires, I'm curious to see what Briscoe can do. Andy Lally's driven a great race.
The car I'm looking for is that white and lime green 22 that just passed under the screen.
The leaderboard has not updated because Cindric is not the leader. The leader's Gregson, followed by Herbst, Bamber, Allgaier, Briscoe, and Andy Lally. That's the lineup. It'll probably correct when they cross start-finish line this time. Watch Gregson and Herbst just overshoot one and hopefully drive each other into the guardrail.
We got Briscoe back into the mix after getting off those rain tires and having to come from the back.
3 cars that I know of are out of the race. Justin Haley, Ross Chastain, and Daniel Hemrick, poor guy.
Riley is an underrated road racer. He hasn't gotten the finishes, but if you watch where he runs toward the front of these road races. Let's see what he can do now that he has some track position.
Getting ready for the restart of stage 2.
Okay, stage 2.
For that to get underway. Again, Riley Herbst in the 18 on the outside. Noah Gregson.
At least the caution's here quick. We got a car slowing in the back. That whole outside line's moving up. Somebody's stopping back there. That could bring out a caution. We'll see how long it takes.
Gregson, the preferred line as they go into
He was just past pit entrance, so.
Did he make it this time?
Gregson shoots out to the lead.
7 car Allgaier with an issue. Did not get through turn 1 very well.
Gregson ain't going to win. Bamber just spun Riley Herbst. Oh, I love it. Spun him out. And he's all the way back in 30th now. He lost every conceivable spot. Jeffrey Earnhardt's slow on the front. Oh, Gregson! What the hell? Going to the wall, going to the wall, going to the wall. Yes! What was that? What was that? Gregson just gained like 20 miles an hour of speed, slid, and crashed into the tire barrier. Woohoo! Caution's out.
That little kink is not even really a corner for the sports cars, and a heavy stock car.
What the fuck?
2 cars
What in the
stalled on
world?
track is what brought the caution out.
Yeah, we got 2 cars stopped, so that brought out a full course yellow, and Gregson wrecked. Oh, then Gregson got going again. He hit the... I'd like to see the left side of Gregson's car. What happened?
In the infield. Looks like you got on that inside curve a
Oh
little bit.
my
You got
God.
wide on the exit, just get the tires into that grass. You lose
I
all
wish he
control.
would have just nosed into that fucking
He's
wall.
way beyond the braking zone to be able to even get the car slowed down.
I love this track. I love this race. I love this series.
You want to carry as much speed as you can through there. It's dried up. It's not as damp as it was the first time they went through there earlier in the
Hey,
race.
see that lady on top of her camper clapping?
Made some damage to the left rear quarter panel.
Yay, Gregson got junked, and Riley Hurst is in the back. All is right with the world. The leaderboard hasn't updated. It still says Gregson's the leader. Why is this leaderboard so slow to update?
Yeah, I saw that in the background.
Refreshing.
Restart at the 15 go high.
Excuse me.
And I wasn't sure whether he was just going to the back or what, but he's got going now.
I guess it just updates when they cross start finish again.
See right here, this was the contact. 18 and 21. Amber and Hurd. That's something, you know, when you... By the way, guys, the 16 car is going to get the free pass right here.
Allmendinger's back on the lead lap. Yeah, wow, this is perfect. Gregson's fucked, Herbst is fucked, and Allmendinger's back on the lead lap. Let's go. And Centric lost all his track position through all the clusterfuck stage pit strategy.
Be really respectful of the guys that are racing for
Man,
points.
this race took a turn.
There every week. I know
I'm very
this is
happy.
your shot, right? This is your chance, but you know, these other guys, they do it every single week. They're racing for points. See, Algar hit pit road. I think you need to be really respectful of them.
Briscoe is the leader now.
Caution comes out very quick after the start.
Riley Hurst and Gregson went from first and second to all the way to the back.
And Rick Justin Allgaier
In
is
less than a
coming
quarter of a
into
lap.
his pit stall. There was some discussion about whether there was something broke or if Justin had just locked up the brakes and flat spotted the tires, specifically the left front. So they opted to, despite having to give up all this track position, come in, play it safe. Justin didn't want it to blow out on the banking. And as they pull it off, the left front looks okay. But
Yeah, Allgaier thinks he flat spotted the tires, so he pitted under this caution.
Here on the 7 car.
Justin Allgaier will make his way back out on track, and we'll be back for the restart.
What a crazy lap that was. Oh, the unpredictability. Anybody out there play the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater demo this weekend? Because I've got it, and it's pretty cool. It wouldn't make for a good stream because you can literally skate for 2 minutes at a time on the warehouse level from Pro Skater 1. But it's really good because the physics of the game feel great. It really does feel like classic Tony Hawk, and that's all I wanted. So I look forward to when the full game unlocks on September 9th for those of us who pre-ordered it. If you're on the playoff bubble going into the cup race tomorrow, you got to be shitting yourself watching this. I want so bad. I expect Jimmy Johnson to do well tomorrow because of his experience on this track. However, well, not on this track. I'm talking about his road course ability because Jimmy Johnson's pretty solid on road courses. I'm sure he'll make some kind of stupid mistake. Oh, that NFL commercial warms my soul. Gives me life every time they show that NFL commercial. I love when they show a commercial that I'm like happy to see. I'm like, oh yay! Kind of like when you get a YouTube ad for a video game you love. You're like, oh nice. I won't skip this.
Make sure to tune in on Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Brad Doherty is going to be with the NBC Sports on Sirius XM crew. It's NASCAR Radio Channel 90. Brad bringing that owner, broadcaster perspective to what's taking place here this weekend. Road course, and then looking forward, obviously.
Brad Doherty was bragging in the pre-race. He finished second in a late model race once. I'm like, really?
These drivers face.
How did they find a late model big enough for Brad Doherty to fit his giant ass into?
Some of these guys are ruthless. They'll stick it in a hole that's not there. We know who the characters are, so we just gotta watch, make sure they don't take us out, try to do something stupid, but then something wrong.
That's Xfinity race in 2020.
Shut up,
Old tracks.
Jeff Burton.
He's been paying attention.
I like Jeff Burton, but God, NBC's been awful today. This is like so weird. NBC's usually on their game.
98 will be on the inside, and Harrison Burton in the 20 will be
Briscoe,
on the outside
Burton,
for this restart.
Bamber, Brandon Jones, fucking Josh Balicki. And we're back. Green flag. Boy, I love that turn one. Turn one here is so cool. Lots of space to go wide if you need to. Bamber up to second. Look at that. Oh, 44 spun. Ooh. And he gets it go. Wow. Nice job. He got spun, but he straightened it right back out and kept going.
Tommy Joe Martin's behind the wheel there, and we stay green.
It's a good job by him to get rolling that quickly.
Yeah, it's a good job by everybody to stay out of it. Oh, egg lock up.
Oh. Jesse Little. Don't hit Allgaier. Oh, thank God. I thought he was about to just slide back up in front of Allgaier and take him out, but Allgaier made it through. No damage, no nothing.
Through the grass and all the wet condition there.
Jesse Little didn't hit anything, and he gets back on track. All right, disaster averted. Briscoe, Bamber, and Harrison Burton have driven away up front. 11 laps to go in stage 2.
This race on rain tires. Had to pit under green in that first stage, so this is a nice recovery to get back up front, get some track position.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to see Bamber and what kind of speed he has.
You know that 21 car is a very good car. You've seen Anthony Alfredo's run well in that car this year. I wish Alfredo would have got the 3 car tomorrow. Why'd they give it to Casgralla? Why wouldn't they put Alfredo in the 3 car? Ooh, Josh Williams off track. Oh, he took out the go bowling signs. Oh my God, where's his front end? Well, Josh Williams is done for the day. At least he's on the access road. What the fuck is Josh Williams doing? What the fuck is he doing?
He's going to find the apron a little bit as we continue to watch.
He might have thought that access road could have got him off the track. I was hoping it would. The 44 missed the front stretch chicane.
Stop and go penalty if you miss the chicane.
You know, Rick, I've never claimed to be a race car driver, but I also tried this track.
This race has really picked up now since the end of stage 1. Yeah, go bowling. Josh Williams wanted to go bowling.
This was 1 lap. Tommy Joe Martin's here.
Tommy Joe Martin's had a hell of a time this last lap.
Back a little bit ago. Just gets caught by Michael Annette,
Austin
right?
Cindric is up to 8th, and we got a caution. Caution's out. Caution's out. For what?
We got debris in turn 11.
I don't know where turn 11 is. Which one's turn 11?
Along there with Brandon Godovic.
I haven't counted.
Yeah, to avoid.
Just a little.
That's not even on the racetrack. They threw a caution for that? Well, whatever. NASCAR's like, shit, we got to keep these guys bunched up. This is wild. Throw the caution. These cautions are good for A.J. Allmendinger, though, I think.
Like a split that he was trying to pick up there.
Rick Allen. Good God.
Yeah, that was a huge run.
You know, I'm not surprised to see so many guys hit that grass on the backstretch because I was looking at that this week and like, good God, that doesn't look like a very wide part of the racetrack at all.
He only hit 2 out of the 3 pins that were there, so there was still a pin stand.
He almost hit the corner pin.
Yeah.
See,
Look at the damage.
Yeah, the splitter. That's why when you said it was a yellow.
And then he was going backwards on the racetrack for some
Wasn't
reason.
hard to sell. I agree. There had to be debris somewhere.
I was wondering which car it was. Listen, that shows you how hard this racetrack is. And Steve, you said it, that rear chicane. I mean, you just have to, crew chiefs, spotters, they need to be telling drivers, look, if you got to give up a little bit, get in that corner, just do it, because the cost is too big. Now listen, that's a passing zone. If you're going to keep someone from passing you, you've got to drive in that corner deep. So it's easier said than done, but I know there's a lot of Cup drivers that are watching this race today, and they are not.
I hope everybody's paying attention for the Cup race tomorrow.
Junior, you talked about it. How the sand and soft and it ruts, and if you drop that right front.
Don't say rut
I can't tell from this
without the word
camera,
hey in front of
a
it.
few inches deep. I mean, it's tearing these
Hey,
race cars
rut.
apart.
Dave.
Guy just listening into some of the leaders, including the 98 of Chase Briscoe. What a comeback for them. Remember, they were looking for a caution to solve a problem that they had early, which was starting on the wrong tire, started on Reigns by mistake when they came to pit road, but now he is back in the lead where he's been a lot of this season. And behind him, the road racer from New Zealand, Earl Bamber, in his first ever stock car start for Richard Childress Racing, is having the time of his life. Very happy with the race.
Having the time of his life.
Cindric, who won stage 1, asked about Earl Bamber during his last caution period. They were told, well, he's learning. He might be around at the end, Parker.
Well, speaking of learning, Dave, that 20 car Harrison Burton, what a cool opportunity for him to follow Earl Bamber there, who has so much experience here at this racetrack. He's really been struggling, that car. He has been struggling just to get on the brakes and stop those.
We gained 2 new subscribers in the last day or 2. Is that from the Pokemon stuff? What am I streaming after this, Pokemon or Batman? I can't make up my mind.
Spin out of the lead there down.
I don't feel like doing Rock Tunnel in Pokemon Leaf Green today after the race. I don't know.
You definitely don't want to be cutting a tire.
Well, it's weird. We've had a lot of cautions lately, but at the start of this race, I felt like, geez, we're never going to get a caution. But as soon as you bunched everybody back up and they had 15 laps of practice under their belt, you started seeing some shit go down. It's been good, though. I don't know what race you take off the schedule next year to put this on it, but I would like to see more of the Daytona Road Course. I think the Daytona Road Course should open the season. Busch Clash should be a points race, and it should just be a regular Cup race. You do the race on the Daytona Road Course the week before the Daytona 500, and that's how you start the season. My Twitter is nothing but bowling puns because of Josh Williams hitting the Go Bowling signs on the backstretch. And I got to give NASCAR credit. These cautions, they've had to throw a couple of cautions, but they've been quick cautions. They haven't wasted laps. You know, instead of the All-Star race every year, why don't we replace it with a real-life game of Rocket League? NASCAR's best are going to play real-life Rocket League. Question. Why couldn't they just send Dale Jr. and the guys to the booth for one damn race? Like, why can't they just send them to the track just for this week? Because clearly something's missing from the coverage today. And it has a lot to do with the fact that they're calling the race remotely. A lot of people are on social media are shitting on this race. I'm like, give it a chance. They're fucking racing on a track that they've never practiced on before. If there was like an hour and a half practice before each of these races, it wouldn't be this messy. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, it's a little hard to follow sometimes because it's a bit of a clusterfuck. I'm enjoying it. Lighten up. It's a bit rich coming from me. I complain about everything.
Well, Rick, this week we sat down and spoke with Earl Bamber about this.
Streamed both.
Has so many laps here. He said, "Do not sleep on the bus stop."
Oh, well, Jay, I don't
Very
know.
difficult to beat.
We could have a late night stream coming up. I don't know. But after this race, I think I really want to stream Batman or something. I think we're going to go Batman after the race, if y'all don't mind. I'll stop this stream and get ready to load up and do Batman because I got to like switch the title and everything. But we'll worry about that after the race. You don't have to ask me how many laps are left. You can look on the leaderboard there and see. Lil J, are you a NASCAR fan yet? I like making new fans.
The next few guys, as we've seen, have ripped their cars apart going through that.
All right, we're going to have a restart here. Briscoe, Bamber, I'm getting used to saying that, Burton, Brandon Jones, Josh Bilicki, and Andy fucking Lally. I got a soft spot for Andy Lally.
After having that pit stop.
Yeah, that's top 10 for Cedric.
Tell Rutledge when he talks to these drivers during the breaks, make sure he points out the bus stop.
The bus stop.
Bamber making up row 1.
And we're off.
Bamber without a good restart.
Bamber really shit the bed on that restart.
Knowing how these cars accelerate.
Not too bad, though. He's not going to lose much. Look at Cindric around the outside into turn 1. He better be careful. Woo, Cindric. Be careful, man. God. Why'd they cut away from that? He's a wild man back there right now. Oh, Briscoe overcooked the horseshoe a little bit. Smoking the tires. But he keeps the lead. Burton didn't get a good run through that corner. 3 wide coming to the kink because Cindric's a madman.
Amazing job after an earlier spin.
8 laps to go in stage 2.
Stay with Briscoe now.
Got to report that Harrison was having a lot of wheel hop issues, and that's the case. We're going to have to be really smart about not trying to chase Briscoe into the corners. That's where you'll get that wheel hop and get yourself in trouble.
Bamber's still 3rd.
Burton's dad gave him some pointers,
Brandon Jones 4th. Cindric's in the top 5 now. Cindric's up to 5th. Good run for Harrison Burton.
Well, Jeff, I don't think you should put yourself down so much. I talked to Harrison this morning and asked him if you'd give him any advice. He said yes. He told me to call the people that know how to get around this place. So you gave me great advice.
That's good advice.
Oh, Parker.
It's a lot of fun watching that 22-car walk through traffic. He just
Cindric was, oh, we got another car that hit the backstretch chicane, but he didn't tear it up miraculously. Mike Wallace, the living legend. Bailey Curry in that ridiculously stupid stand for the flag car. Cindric around the outside of Burton, not Burton, Brandon Jones. Sorry. It was a Gibbs car. Cindric's up to 3rd, or 4th actually. I forget about Bamber. I'm just totally disregarding Earl Bamber. When am I streaming racing again? Tomorrow at 3. Actually, no. Tomorrow at 12. The truck race is tomorrow at 12. So it'll be in the afternoon tomorrow, 12 o'clock. I got to remember to set. I got to change my alarm. I set my alarm for 2:30 tomorrow, but I got to set it for like 11:30 because there's a race at noon. Could be a long day tomorrow with weather, lightning delays and shit. So who knows? Cindric up to 3rd. Yeah, God, Cindric's really good on road courses.
Spotters always playing an important role here at Daytona as we see Austin Cindric on the move again.
Just a 3rd away.
Guys, I was playing NASCAR Heat on PC, and it's really cool. But playing with an Xbox controller sucks way worse than a PS4 controller, let me tell you. My hand hurts after every race on the Xbox controller. The PS4 controller, it would only hurt after, like, Sonoma. But I don't know what it is about that Xbox controller. It's the triggers and shit that are different. I've gotten used to the sensitivity of the left stick being different, But the triggers compared to the L2 and R2 on a PS4 controller for a racing game, I'm not a fan of.
Kind of skips through it.
But I'm getting used to it.
Third out of there to the next guy that goes to it.
I mean, just, the 22 is just tight. I mean, it just doesn't slip a lot of tires.
We talked a lot about Austin Cindric and his road course abilities, and that makes him very.
Who's my pick to win the truck race? I'll have to think about that, Michael. I don't know yet. I'll have to look at the entry list and see what I think.
And we know, everybody knows how good he is on these road courses. So if you can be good on mile and a half, super speedways, and all those things, and young and good, that means you can continue to improve and great on road courses.
6 laps to go in stage 2.
A cup owner going to take a chance on this guy? You can get him a shot to win some races. Get yourself into playoffs. You just see him with a good opportunity. He's making himself a good opportunity to move forward.
Yeah, he's with Team Penske. He's 21 years old. And anytime you're 21 years old involved in sports, your parents are going to want to be there to watch and see how things are going. Well,
or your parents are going to buy you success like they did Austin Cindric. But go on, Rick.
Because he's the president of Team Penske, and obviously they've got everybody at Indianapolis right now. So when you say, hey, is he appealing to cup owners? Well, I'm sure he is, but most people think, well, he's a Team Penske driver because of where his dad works.
He's a Team Penske driver until someone else calls. That's right.
Cindric's going to get the 2 car in 2022. Oh, Josh Bilicki around. Don't think he hit anything. He's still going. Yeah, he's good. That was like a Cheap Trick car. Josh Bilicki in the Cheap Trick Toyota. Moffitt's the favorite for tomorrow's truck race.
So trying to run side by side. Oh, through the bend to turn 4. And
ooh, he did exactly what Gregson did, Bilicki.
He dropped a wheel right there. I think he was really lucky, though, that he didn't go into the tire barrier.
Guess who's broken into the tire?
Wow, Cindric smoked Harrison Burton through that chicane.
Pass for second place right there.
Jeez, I'll be right back.
Side by side in the braking zone, and Burton had to lift and let that position fall to Cindric. So look at that.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So they almost side by side right there in that part of the track, and Burton had to give up a whole lot there to let.
Ooh, your boy's getting an Arby's orange milkshake. I'm gonna be so mad when Arby's gets rid of the orange milkshake.
Austin Cindric was able to do.
Them things are delicious.
The lap before that, Austin Cindric was about 3/4 of a second faster than Chase Briscoe. A lot of it has to
How is Cindric this much faster?
So now it's Chase Briscoe.
It's crazy.
And right behind him, Austin Cindric. We go NASCAR nonstop.
Bamber and Andy Lally, 4th and 5th. See, this race is great. I don't give a shit what anybody says on social media. People on social media don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. The fact we can have Andy Lally and Earl Bamber in the top 5 is proof that this is a good race. It's proof. Until Cindric gets back out front here and drives off to like a 25-second lead, which is probably going to happen. Hey, Allmendinger's back in the top 10. I just saw that Allmendinger's 9th. I just noticed that. Make that 8th. Yeah. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yep, good to see the Dinger back in the top 10. So I'd say the whole streaming from the computer thing now is a success. It's much better than crudely streaming from a PlayStation. Stepped into the kitchen and expected to come back and see Cindric got in front of Briscoe, but no, not yet. Allmendinger up to 7th now. Not on the leaderboard, but on the actual race I'm watching, he's up to 7th. So when they cross start finish here, we'll probably update. Is that how it works? It just updates when they cross start finish? Yep, there it goes. Allmendinger 7th. The Mustang and the Xfinity series looks so damn cool. It's a damn shame there's only 2 of them. And you're looking at them, Briscoe and
The
Cindric.
winningest drivers in the Xfinity Series in 2020 are now battling it out at the front to see who can win.
Losing all that track position did not hurt Cindric in the least.
Cindric won stage 1. He's running second now. Chase Briscoe.
I would expect, well, I don't know. The pit window is like, what, 18 to 20 laps, and stage 3 is 22 laps. So you probably can't pit here with 3 to go and play the strategy game to try to steal track position. But I'd like to see somebody try.
The 22 has been really good. Jeff, you pointed it out into the chicane.
Especially if it's Allmendinger.
Really eating up a lot of time in these braking zones.
And look how the 22 car doesn't move around. You mentioned it, Steve. Watch the car, left to right. It doesn't shake.
Maybe you pit with 3 to go here, and then under the stage brake, come down and do gas only.
Than Cindric is to make lap time. Watch to see if he can make
Am I way off base on that?
into the chicane
Or would
again.
that make a lot of sense? I think it makes a lot of sense. Then again, you're going to be so far back, you probably can't make it up on pit road by doing gas only under caution anyway, so yeah, I'm probably way off.
Brakes on the car, but the ability for the car to turn, right, and point.
Well, so let's talk about this for a minute, right? When we talk about braking, it's just not the physical brakes. It's
Well, Cody Vanderwall is into wall. Well, actually, he's into grass. And he's stuck. That's probably going to be a call. Well, he's starting to roll. He's starting to roll. There you go, boy. You can do it. Come on, Cody. There you go. He got back on the track. He made it out.
It's not about what physical brakes are on the car. The driver and the
3 laps to go in stage 2. Briscoe, Cindric still up front.
How you push the brake pedal, whether you use the clutch.
Cindric's not running Briscoe down nearly as fast as he did everybody else.
There's a lot of things crew chiefs can do to develop straight line braking power that has nothing to do with the actual brakes on the car. Dave.
And because they were coming to a track they didn't know and had never been on, crew chief Brian Wilson told me about that 22. We're going fairly conservative. We're going with everything we know. So the braking power, etc., very familiar to Austin Cindric as he continues to hound Chase Briscoe.
This reminds me of Indy, where it looked like
Gregson's on pit road.
the 22
Playing the strategy. Oh, the 98 missed the second horseshoe just a little bit.
A right front lock up issue and all of the
No big deal. He got a good run off.
road course.
But Cindric's all over him. AJ Allmendinger is 4th.
Turning left.
AJ Allmendinger is 4th. This is not a drill.
Where we thought Cindric and Allmendinger was a much better, faster car.
If Allmendinger can restart on the same row or just a row behind Cindric, this could be a good run to the finish.
Don't usually see in these moments. The 22 is so much faster, but now it seems like Briscoe is able to find more speed. Will his car to be able to maintain the
Watch this
speed.
backstretch chicane. It's been crazy all day over here.
Indy race, Briscoe told us that he wasn't showing everything he had, even in the midst of that battle. You see this battle right here.
You have 2 veterans, 2 road course veterans.
Yeah, Bamber's lost some spots right here. Andy Lally getting by him.
Allmendinger passed both Andy Lally and Bamber.
Will that frustrate the 22? Man, I was running down. I thought I was so much better, but now I can only maintain. And then he begins to push harder. Then maybe he makes that mistake.
See, I see the 22 right here as just cruising. I think he sees the 98, his pressure's off, and anxiety's gone. He sees the lead. He came through all that traffic. I think he has this air of confidence where he doesn't have to get right here with 30 laps to go in the race.
2 to go. Cindric really closes into turn 1, but it seems like for the rest of the course, Briscoe maintains or stretches it just a little bit.
He's not beating up his equipment.
Listen, is he going to pass up on the stage point here?
No, he's going to pass him. But the way to pass him is to just patiently put the pressure on.
Not only is it, are you getting a stage point, you're taking it from him as well, right? These are the 2 guys that are leading the points. And by the way, these 2 guys are teammates. They've been teammates at this racetrack in other cars. Austin Cindric has taught Chase Briscoe how to race on road courses.
Boy, Cindric's really driving hard into that second horseshoe. Lap car in the way.
Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace. My boy Mike Wallace.
This is a tough spot right here, Steve.
God, man, let him go, Mike.
To catch a lap car.
I was wondering who was going to benefit. Definitely benefited the 98.
Yeah, Briscoe got the advantage through that little bit of lap traffic.
Yeah, but it's coming up on this long acceleration around NASCAR 1 and 2. And down this back straightaway. But the 22 is able to close the gap. He mentioned it before the race. These cars draft pretty well. They run it down.
I'm hoping that big-ass spoiler on the back of the Cup car tomorrow will help guys get huge runs on the oval part of the racetrack. I'm hoping. It would make sense that it would.
At least I wanted you to see me in your mirror.
But remember, last year at Watkins Glen, drivers complained about dirty air, which confused the hell out of me. On a road course, dirty air.
The way Cindric was, you can't see it anymore. Now you've lost your visibility to see that curve.
Coming up on the
last lap of the stage this time.
And a great battle happening right here between these two. Young drivers looking to advance from the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series. Chase Briscoe has said at the beginning of the year he thought the way he could get...
Briscoe's really holding his own. I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
5 wins already for Chase Briscoe. And then the tear that Austin Cindric has been on, the last 5 races, his worst finish is second. That was only one time. He won the other 4.
This has been the corner. This caused that 98 some problems, but he gets it slowed down that time. Doesn't lock that right front up, doesn't miss the apex. Good exit. Into the turn 4 to the left.
That's important exit too, because this is a passing zone. Cindric's not going to be close enough to try and make that pass.
And it looks like they're flying into this corner,
God.
turn 5.
You get a lot of speed on that little straightaway in the infield. More than you realize.
I think to go left.
Will he try it at the bus stop though?
Oop, oh, Cindric putting it in there. Forcing his way in.
22 is there, contact.
Oh, wow. He just ran the 98 off the track.
Cindric pushes him out.
Oh, hell no. That ain't going to fly with me, buddy. Cindric, Briscoe took a defensive line into the corner, and Cindric didn't give a shit, and he drove in and then just hit him and drove him wide, coming back onto the oval. Oh, man. That would not make me very happy if I was Chase Briscoe. I have to do something about that. Oh, he's there. He's going to take him out. Take him out. Briscoe's going to take the lead back. He tried to hook him. He hit him and hooked him. And they're side drafting on a road course. Look at this. God, that's just for the stage finish. These guys are going to kill each other. Woo! In the last chicane. Play nice. Oh. Both of them on the curve. I think Briscoe's going to take it. Stage 2 goes to Briscoe. That was pretty intense. Briscoe wins stage 2. That was just for the stage end. Ooh, boy. Cindric used his car, and Briscoe used his car a little bit to get it back. A.J. Allmendinger 4th, Andy Lally 5th.
Not to mention, look at the top. Harrison Burton in 3rd.
Oh, yeah, this race is so bad, Twitter. You're so right. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's great. Just fucking road courses rule. Yeah, Cindric getting a little hyper-aggressive there. I think he was just frustrated that he wasn't able to run him down without hitting him. And then Briscoe was up his ass coming through the back straightaway. I was hoping he was just going to hook him there like Bowman did Bubba last year at Charlotte. That would have made me laugh, but he's not going to wreck a Ford teammate like that no matter how much he pisses him off. No harm in spinning him out, though, if he pisses you off bad enough. All this race needed was practice. That is all. Everybody that was freaking out online, oh, it's a bad idea to run this place. Fuck off. They just needed practice. Can we just schedule a cup practice for the morning? Can we just make that change right now? Please. I don't think I've ever seen a stage 1 that was like the stage 1 in this race. That was just bizarre. Bunch of fish out of water trying to fucking drive a track they've never been on before. Oh, I can't wait for that milkshake to get here. All this race was missing now is my milkshake. Oh, man. This race has lifted my spirits. I really needed that.
Give it to Chase Briscoe through the right side window. This is look at this.
Oh my God! You guys see that?
Chase was thirsty. Right, partner?
Austin Cindric threw his water bottle out the window at Chase Briscoe. That was funny. He almost threw it in the car because the windows are open on the Xfinity cars on road courses, and it almost got in Briscoe's car. That's awesome. You never get bored from me talking. I get bored from me talking. But I think the more I do this, the more comfortable I get with it, so it's easier to do now. 4 years experience, and you suddenly learn how to talk. You know, I spent all these years talking to myself during races. I figured I should do it on YouTube. Unless, like, Dylan or Cameron or somebody's hanging out with me. Dylan's supposed to come here tomorrow. Matter of fact, we messaged him right now. Make sure. I usually have people to talk to during the race, but usually I'm just sitting here talking to myself.
Oh, Rick, this is so exciting. I'm hearing from tons of guys. Bubba said discipline in the chicane is what it's all about. Alex Bowman says you miss it by 6 inches on the turn, your day is over. Let's ask Matt DiBenedetto, who's joining us now. Matty D, thanks, buddy. For
Matt DiBenedetto.
You're on the bubble. I have to assume that tonight is one of those nights where anxiety jumps in and sleep.
That was so funny when Cindric threw his water bottle in Briscoe's car.
Well,
Well, he tried to get it in the car. It hit the window.
Well, the first thing that I noticed is I really liked the water bottle exchange. That was pretty nice with Austin Cindric.
I've never seen that before, but that was funny.
There, you know, he may have been thirsty, so that was pretty cool. But it's
First of all, though, I don't know why Cindric would be mad at Briscoe. Cindric's the motherfucker that ran Briscoe off the track to take the lead, and then Briscoe got back to him and forced him wide to get the lead back. So what the hell Cindric pissed about? Seriously.
So it's going to be a tough one.
Cindric's a spoiled little shit, but at least he's good on road course. I can't knock his road course game. Very talented driver.
Situation and everything, and it's nerve-wracking. We have a good, decent little cushion, but we need some good, smooth races. We've had really good speed, so can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I know, man. We can see your racing sim behind you. Give everybody at home an idea. How much time have you spent this week trying to prep for the Daytona road course and all the conditions you might see there?
I think, I sweat about as much as I would in a real race, just running either back here on the iRacing.
Yeah, that's why I don't use my steering wheel when I play NASCAR Heat. It's very exhausting. I don't have the energy to get up on the wheel and drive. Plus, I think I need a better chair. You know, if I had a better chair in here, I'd be much more motivated to break out the steering wheel. I don't know. I don't think that PS4 wheel I have would work on PC, would it? I don't think it would.
Make some laps and see. That stuff's going to help us a lot. I think the Cup guys will be pretty good.
I'd have to get another wheel, probably.
We do too, Matt. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Appreciate you taking the time. Rick, another great Cup driver, taking a minute to join us. We can't say thanks enough to those guys. But, man, it is exciting. The best comment I've heard so far was Joey Logano texted me, and he said, maybe we need the Benny Hill theme music playing.
Joey Logano texted Rutledge. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
brought to you by
Who's this up front? Balicki?
Great perspective.
Josh Balicki?
What's taking place here at the road course. Now tomorrow, we just heard Matt DiBenedetto saying, okay, well, I got to keep it on track. I've got to take care of my equipment. Well, it's his turn tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be a great one. That's again on NBC. Race coverage will begin at 3 p.m. Eastern, pre-race at 2 p.m. on NBCSN. And why are they racing so hard for that one playoff point, Steve? This is it.
I mean, it's obvious. Briscoe and Cindric are dominating this category with nearly 30 points each. You know, those points continue from round to round throughout the playoffs, and they're kind of like that mulligan, right? A little bit of a...
Plus, you get bonus playoff points for your finish in the point standings at the end of the regular season.
This week, it would be the little things that would hurt their effort this weekend. First time in an Xfinity stock car, and he, for the second time today, angled his car into the pit stall. It really hampered their stop. And instead of being up front, he's going to be back in row 8 to restart.
Here we go, stage 3. Josh Balicki is your leader. Scott Heckert is second.
Yes, on the fuel window is 18 to 20 laps.
We're in stage 3.
And getting ready for the final stage to get underway.
Go, Josh Balicki. Briscoe's got the real race is Briscoe and Cindric. That's obvious. And right now, Briscoe's got the advantage. He's got the inside line going to 1. But look at the speed Cindric can carry around the outside. He just doesn't have the angle through the corner. He carried too much speed. There he goes off track. He's back on, but he lost a couple of spots for that. Oh, now he's in the grass. Saves it. Briscoe to the lead. Cindric's in 5th. He looked like he was going to come out of that deal 3rd. There you go, Briscoe. Just check out now because Cindric bobbled. You got to make him pay. Take advantage of every ounce of time that Cindric could lose, and he lost a good bit of time there to Briscoe.
Staying up here in the top 4 for now.
I have an unfair advantage over the announcers. I can shoot the shit and be real with you. If a guy fucks up, I'm going to tell you he fucked up. I'm not going to be like Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon never calls anybody out for screwing up.
Balicki back to 3rd, Harrison Burton 4th.
Cindric up to 2nd now. Briscoe has checked out, however. I'm sure Cindric will reel him in, and we'll be right back to where we were at the end of stage 2. We'll see. AJ Allmendinger there in 5th. Hopefully he can make quick work of Balicki and Harrison Burton, and he can get involved in this. Who am I rooting for? Kind of rooting for Allmendinger in 5th. He's 5th. Oh, we got another car that hit the chicane. Alex LeBay. Oh, it's Pardis. He got some damage on the right front, but he didn't rip the front end off, so he's fine.
I just heard Harrison Burton's team come across radio and say, we need to save under caution. Don't do it under green yet, but we are 1 lap short, and I think that's common amongst many teams right now.
Everybody feels like they're 1 lap short on fuel. Oh, 74 missed the chicane.
Chicane there as we go through this final stage.
Justin Allgaier locked the tires up there at the 7th.
Cones are history. And there's AJ Allmendinger up to 3rd. He's passing Harrison Burton into turn 1 right now. Yeah, Allmendinger is going to be a factor here. Cindric is going to run Briscoe down, and Allmendinger is going to run them down. So it's Briscoe, Cindric, Allmendinger. Here we go again, just like Indianapolis. I love it. 3 road course aces right now. We don't really know what Allmendinger has. Oh, Brandon Brown spun, but he got it going. We don't really know what Allmendinger has today. We haven't seen anything from him. He hasn't had the chance to flex any muscle at all. Hopefully he's got something left after having to battle through all that traffic all day.
Oh, just in way too deep. Does a nice job avoiding all guys. You can tell he was in too fast. But 2 shops, they build and assemble the cars up in Virginia, bring them down to Mooresville when they're all assembled. That's why they do the final setups. That's a lot of moving parts. It's impressive for a small team. Currently just inside the playoff cut line in 12th, plus 40 over Jeremy Clemens.
Yeah, the tough thing for Brandon Brown right now, his dad is actually fighting cancer. So he's going through treatments, and he can't go visit him because of the situation
all right.
with COVID and everything.
Cindric has cut into Briscoe's lead by 0.8 of a second. He was a 1.5 seconds back. Now he's 0.7 back. And Allmendinger's closing as well. They can't pay me. I cuss too much.
across straight roads and it jumped out of
I would have a hard
gear,
time
which
not
is tough.
cussing.
When you're trying to slow down and use the engine braking and the brakes at the same time, and it jumps out of gear. That's why you oversped the corner. 22.
I hope these two spin out and Allmendinger takes the lead because of it.
Or a second and a half.
And given how stage 2 ended, that's a very strong possibility.
Cedric driving up on the back bumper of that car.
18 laps to go.
They're both driving away from Allmendinger, though. I don't see Allmendinger running these guys.
I see Allmendinger getting a little closer. I don't know what Dale Jr.'s watching. Allmendinger's right there. He's like 3 seconds back, but he was over 4 back.
The reminder that went out to Austin Cindric while they told him that A.J. Allmendinger had gotten into third place was that this will be the longest run of the race. Take care of your car.
That's actually what I was thinking for Allmendinger. While I don't think he's back there just cruising, I do think the best thing for him is that there are 2 cars in front of him, not 1. I know that sounds silly, but we have already seen the 98 and the 22 and some pretty heavy.
I want to feel bad when I actually go to the race now because I won't be able to stream when I go to the race.
Tell him what these 2 can end up doing before the end of the race.
Yeah, watching the Indy race between these 3 guys.
Nah, it'll be like a vacation to go to the race. Take a week off from this. I wanted to go to this race. I wanted to go down to Daytona, but I thought better of
This is
it.
his opportunity to put himself in a better position for the end of the race. These 2 guys, we've seen them already once wear each other out, beating their cars up, racing each other for the lead. So maybe they'll go up there, burn their stuff up. If you're Allmendinger, maybe you sit back and wait, have something for the end of the race. You know you're probably going to get another caution.
Well, it's no surprise.
I don't think there's going to be another caution.
They've won 6 of the last 7.
I'm sure I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like there's going to be another caution.
They're so good at what they do. And
Stream on my phone is too loud, dude. My phone would die, and at the race you couldn't hear shit anyway because the cars are so loud you can't hear anything. Maybe I'd stream before the race and just check in and say hello.
Not showing his entire hand all the time. You know, I'm used to seeing these guys when they're young like this, just they don't know anything but 10-10s. Run as hard as you can all the time. Maybe he's more self-aware and just does what he needs to do. Understanding to take care of his brakes, his tires.
Be right back.
Briscoe, Cindric, Allmendinger, the top 3, and then right behind them, it is a Toyota parade. Harrison Burton, Riley Herbst, Josh Malicki, and Brandon Jones running 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Take a look at the Toyota driver update. Harrison Burton has steadily improved his road course racing. He's running up there in the top 5, 4th currently. But it's just another thing that a young driver, Harrison, as I mentioned, a very young driver at 19 years old, trying to learn everything he can. And one of the facets of racing in the Xfinity Series is having to learn these road courses.
Rick, you know, decades ago, most of the drivers in NASCAR just assumed they were going to go to Sonoma and Watkins Glen. Some loved it, some hated it, but they didn't really put a ton of focus on it. But now, with the addition of the Roval on the Cup side, gives them 3 road course races. Xfinity is well documented. They're on 4 on a normal schedule. I know this year's different, but you can no longer ignore them, right, Jeff? I mean, you mentioned earlier about Cindric trying to make a name for himself and maybe find
Whenever I get to go to a race again, I'll do something.
what he provides at the road course events, a chance to go win.
Figure that out when the time comes.
Some people say he shouldn't be in here, but it gives a young driver an opportunity to learn from those guys much the way that they're learning today.
Because I'm going to a race as soon as possible, hopefully in September at Charlotte, or October now. It's October.
You know, those guys are teaching these guys how to race. That's what.
So in October, I plan on going to a race.
Teammates here out of Joe Gibbs Racing. Riley Herbst is going to make the pass going through Daytona 3 and 4.
There it is.
How'd you let Riley Herbst pass you on a road course, Harrison? Come on.
Just like Bubba Wallace said, another couple 6 inches, he would have probably taken the splitter off of that car, done a little damage to that right front.
Right back into contention. A.J. Allmendinger running 3rd. Listening to his radio.
What's Allmendinger saying?
Our 3 is we're in a league of our own, and 22 is screaming at the 98 after that last run, so it's going to get big between them 2. So all we can do is run our race, try to capitalize on their mistakes.
Yeah, Briscoe has about 6 to 8 tenths over Cindric routinely every lap.
And that's great information.
I think the 22 is really pushing hard, a little too hard.
Out of the 22 of Cindric. He knows the battles between these three. He feels they have the speed. So Parker, what I heard is he is trying to give all the information to his experienced driver, A.J. Allmendinger, to make sure he wants A.J. to push, but there could be some action up in front of him.
Right, Steve. And sometimes you just gotta, give some optimism inside for that driver, because AJ has not been the most positive on the radio inside that 16 car in terms of how it's handling. And I think right now, as we see, he's fallen from about 2.8 seconds to 3.2 seconds back from those two leaders. He just says that they just don't quite have the speed in that 16 car. So I think Chris Rice used a little bit of help there mentally, maybe to say, hey, we're still in this if we just stay close enough as they are right now.
His crew chief's right. I'm pretty sure Briscoe and Cindric will kill each other, and Allmendinger will win, hopefully. But Allmendinger has to stay close enough to them to take advantage of their mistake. He's on the cusp. He's like 3.2 seconds back. So he's like barely hanging on. I thought for sure Allmendinger would catch both of them, at least catch the 22. And I can't believe how Briscoe's holding off Cindric.
We know AJ gets hyped up inside that car, right? We've seen if those frustrations come through.
Although now Cindric's as close as he's been this stage. He's within half a second, less than half a second. Allmendinger's got it down to just under 3. Although he lost a lot of time coming onto the front stretch there. It's just horsepower.
Let Chase Briscoe have a team mirror. He is there at every corner.
15 laps to go, and Cindric is about to be on Briscoe's bumper.
He's running down.
He's as close as he has been since they restarted 7 laps ago or whatever it was. And Dale Jr. just nailed it. Briscoe's running just good enough to stay half a second generally ahead of Cindric.
Think how the season has changed for these two. After the Indy Road Course win for Chase Briscoe, he was 61 points ahead of Austin Cindric. That was 5 races ago. But then the run that Austin Cindric had, winning 3 in a row, plus outpointing Chase Briscoe by 30 at Kansas, and that continued the trend at Road America with a win. So Chase is now down 11 points in the regular season championship. It's been a battle all year long, but lately it's been all 22.
Dave, you can jump in anytime, by the way. It's okay.
I knew that. I hate jumping in too much.
Hashtag Dave Discovers. They brought back Wally's World today. Where's Dave Discovers? Oh, I miss old NASCAR on NBC from like 2001 to 2006. Wasn't that just the golden age? You kids don't remember. And once again, we got to think about fuel mileage here. I keep forgetting that, but Dave Rogers just told Riley Herbst the fuel window is about 20 laps, maybe 21, if you're lucky. And this stage is 22 laps long. Of course, there was like 1 or 2 laps under caution, so they saved a little bit of gas. I almost think everybody here would welcome a caution.
I don't know their number specifically. I also know, though, we're not going to hear anything on the radio.
Especially the guys from 4th on back, because they're 13 seconds off the lead. But everybody's got to save gas a little bit. Maybe this will. I think this plays into Allmendinger's hands. I think Allmendinger should concede, lay back, save fuel. Matter of fact, he's 4 seconds back now. He went from about 3 back to he's 4 back now. If he's slower, he's getting better mileage. If he's slower than him, which is pretty obvious that he is. But knowing Colleague Racing's luck today, Allmendinger would be the first car to run out of gas. God, Cindric's smoking the tires. Cindric was really smoking them there. Smoke them if you got them. Now Allmendinger's almost 5 seconds behind. So yeah, I think he's just conceded. Ooh, Bamber went through the backstretch chicane and didn't tear the car up. That's a miracle. But he's got a lot of grass on the grill. So I'm sure that car will start running hot. Bamber was having a good race before he did that. Andy Lally's still in the top 10. Hell, Alex LeBay's in the top 10.
Road course ringers, right, Junior? And people would come in and run up front all the time.
Allmendinger over 5 seconds back now.
As road course racing has become more important.
Yeah, he's just hoping for a caution or for the 98 to run out. Now Cindric is over a second behind Briscoe. What the hell happened there?
Dylan.
Cindric lost like 0.8 of a second there.
That's exactly what Andy Lally has alluded to as well, as you see him there running in the 7th spot. He no doubt has a lot of experience here racing on this configuration.
I don't know shit about cars. I just know about racing in general. I couldn't tell you the first thing about the cars, except what happens aerodynamically. But that's just from 8 years of NASCAR building crappy race cars that are aerodynamic bricks.
He admitted that was going to be a challenge and that we shouldn't expect him to just come into these road course races and beat
giant splitters and giant spoilers and no ride height and all that crap. I couldn't tell you the first thing how to set a car up.
He's had a clean race so far, runs just inside the top 10. His only report right now, just he's been spinning the tires a lot.
But I grasp the concept, the general idea of what it takes to get around each track and what it takes to go through each corner. Like I could tell if a guy's out of position about to blow a corner, you know. Here's Allmendinger's radio again. I'm telling Allmendinger to save. What did I tell you? He went from 3 seconds back to almost 5.5 back. He's saving gas. And I'm starting to think Cindric is too, because he's over 2 seconds behind Briscoe. Or Cindric just burnt the tires up and has nothing left. And Briscoe's just cruising out front.
The Chevys and Toyotas out there, so for them to feel they're way off or way better than them, they could be in a really good position.
So 2 things, Rick. First of all, the Xfinity cars don't.
The way NASCAR set this race up almost guaranteed a fuel mileage finish.
Really calculate the fuel live for the information. The second thing is
I go to Twitter. I want to see what everybody's saying and if anybody's saying anything about this. Maybe NASCAR should rethink these stage lengths for next time.
The other part about that was funny was, hey, those two in front of me, they're running out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, but part of that information that came to AJ was because he doesn't have the speed that the two.
And much like Eric Estep just said on Twitter, I am also rooting for chaos.
Briscoe and Cindric are faster, lap in and lap out. Do you really want to go trying to keep that pace? Do you really want to go do that if you can save fuel? If you don't think you can run them down, Cindric though. I don't know what kind of problems he's had, but Briscoe is.
So the Xfinity Series is still the best series in NASCAR this year. Oh, Riley Herbst goes around. Nothing new there. Gathers it up, keeps going. Nothing new.
Into the chicane, we'll see how much it is and if it will clean itself off with the cars traveling through there. Doesn't look like a lot of damage to the front.
Be right back.
Driver's doing a great job of managing it as these tires get hotter and slicker and more worn.
Looks like he just got the wheel hopping in the braking zone, way too hot into the braking zone there. Probably the best thing that could have happened to him was to spin that car backwards through the grass. We'll see what it does to the splitters a lot of times when those cars go into those areas. Those first. But it's going to cost him a few spots. But he can return and continue.
Heard his teammate talking about, Harrison Burton talking about how he has wheel hop issues. Wonder if it's not something with all the cars having issues with wheel hop, JGR cars.
We know a lot of guys are concerned about fuel mileage and what their issues are and how they're going to finish this race. Let's see if the 98 boys, the leaders, are talking about it.
I'm sure they are.
An opportunity to save any fuel. I know that sounds crazy. Just saying. If we get a little bit of a bigger lead here, we're close.
A lot of confidence there in the radio. If you can save me a little bit, we're close. I'm just saying.
I must be
All right, let's go.
your favorite YouTuber if you're actually paying attention to me watching a race.
Starting the day for the 98, remember how that wasn't good? They started on rain tires when the rest of the field started on slicks.
12 laps to go. We're coming to 11 to go this time. Don't say the C word without context, Dave Burns. Fuck.
Aggressive ride to the front. The 98 leads is trying to win.
When a race fan hears the word "car," they think, "Oh shit."
Remember, he was told, save your stuff, longest run of the day. No other reports from them. They should be on about the same fuel mileage as the leader, Chase Briscoe.
Gotta put my headset on because I got a milkshake.
Was brought into Colin Racing a while back to help them make their road course program better. He has done that, and he's doing that again here today. This is a brand new car for Call Racing that they're trying to develop, see if they can make some improvements. I don't know if it's got a passing grade yet, but he just put the fastest lap on the track, so maybe it's getting better here for him.
Hey, Allmendinger, fastest car on the track.
Him having a great run in the top 5 that Jeff alluded to, has been struggling with brakes. Wheel hop has been a huge issue, and I think brakes will be a massive discussion point for the whole Joe Gibbs Racing team.
Yeah, sometime after the race, we'll do a Batman stream.
He just wanted to run to where they felt like they were speed-wise.
I think I have 2 streams in me today.
Car.
It's exhausting, really. Not really, but talking a lot. My throat gets really dry.
Save it for the final stage. Brandon's running very consistent as the laps wind down, Dylan.
And Dave, right behind him is Andy Lally in that 0-2 car. A team effort throughout this season. Remember, Brett Moffitt spends most of his time in this 0-2 car. They sit 15th in owner points, and because of this new starting lineup metric and Andy's P5 finish last week at Road America, that's allowed them to have a upfront starting spot here today. Andy's done a great job keeping his
Andy Lally still in 6th place.
Inside the top 10. Right behind him there in the 7 car is Justin Allgaier. Remember, they are rebounding from an extra pit stop they made on lap.
I always thought Andy Lally had talent.
Flat spot on that tire. So feel like they've had good speed this year. The opportunities have been there, just haven't capitalized. That's another opportunity missed that Riley Herbst.
Riley Herbst just got spun out again.
Yeah, Riley Herbst is struggling now a bit.
You hear that? He's struggling.
Yeah, it looked like a wheel hop. Either he got in there just too deep and locked up the tires, or he was in there too deep because he had wheel hop, but definitely too much speed into that left-hander turn 6. The 18 car spins around again.
If you have wheel hop, it's only going to get worse on a long run because the front brakes get hot. They don't work.
Riley Herbst spins out about every other lap now.
It just makes it worse as the run goes on.
Explain wheel hop, by the way. We say it a lot.
He's on a left rear wheel, and you can see it lock up. It essentially just stopped. And it's just literally wheel hop. We literally are hopping up and down. Look at the back of the car. How much it's moving around. Just the rear brakes are working more than the front brakes. And
you're not missing anything up front. Briscoe still got 2 seconds on Cindric. Oh, Janet, I forgot to tell you. Batman Begins on the GameCube emulator won't get past the start screen, so no, I don't have a new Batman game to play. My GameCube emulator works, but every ROM I've had for it's been a piece of shit. Oh, Bamber's in the wall hard.
So Bamber struggling now.
Bamber missed the backstretch again.
He went back through that hole. Driver's right. We continue to talk about it. And this time, guys, he was not as fortunate to get by everything. You can see the heavy damage.
Well, yeah, I got Origins, but Batman Begins on the GameCube emulator wouldn't work right, so
Richard Childress in 2007.
back to the drawing board on that deal.
In 2007, he went to Richard Childress Racing and RC and said, "Hey, can I drive one of your race cars?" Man,
God, another car almost flipped off of hitting that inside grass in the chicane. My God.
In the chicane. He's going to pull his car out.
He's shutting it down, which
down to turn 3.
we're probably going to see a caution.
I don't know. He's well off the track. Does that have to be a caution? He's like way off the track.
It just gets in too deep. It looks. Oh my goodness.
And he was prophetic when he talked to us this
Maybe they need to take a look at that. I noticed that all week leading up to the race. I'm like, that chicane on the backstretch is so narrow. That should be that should probably be a caution. There's debris everywhere right there in the groove. Yeah, caution's out. Caution's out. Yay. With 10 laps to go, we have a caution.
Fuel conversations. This is a chance to save fuel, but now are tires worth anything? Do you pit?
Stay out.
Check for overtime. The pressure goes right to the top of the pit
Stay
box.
out and hope to God the race doesn't wind up going to overtime.
Pit boxes in the pit decision.
To the end, are you still saying, all right, just save me as much fuel as you can here? We're not coming in?
Yes, if I'm Briscoe or Cindric, I'm staying on the racetrack. I know we saw them pit at Road America a week ago, but I think new tires are worth it.
Yeah, caution's out.
And here, the tire seems very
Just
hard.
came out.
I think cooling off, the speed will come back. That's my opinion. We'll see what Briscoe and Cindric do, though. I mean, the race is between those two. The question is,
If you're in the top 5, you got to stay out.
I was watching the coverage of you and DJ, and you were shocked that more people in the 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th position didn't stay on the racetrack.
I think Allmendinger should pit, actually. He's 3rd. I think he should pit. He doesn't have what it takes to beat these guys anyway, but Briscoe and Cindric stay out.
There's 28 cars in the lead lap, right? So
Although watch them stay out and the next 20 cars behind them pit. It'd be like Jimmy Johnson at Sonoma a few years ago. He stayed out and literally everybody pitted.
He's pretty far back, 13th. Maybe he pits, tries to make something happen.
The only thing I will say, what we learned last week is
Briscoe, Cindric stay out. Everybody else,
not sure I love that call for everybody
maybe a
else,
pit.
So, you know, we saw the 22 recover, come through traffic once.
I don't know, they got
before.
tires up on the wall for
The 22
Cindric.
and the 98 have the best two cars. They might come and get tired. You know,
So it looks like they're going to probably pit.
Right? I don't think there's a. You tell me what everybody else is going to do, Rick, and I'll tell you what you should do. I know it sounds like a smart answer, but that's really the truth. The game of chess is a moving target.
And we saw the AMR safety team working there with Earl Bamber. Let's listen into the 98 radio.
Think about be pitting here? Oh, for sure. I mean, it's like Atlanta and Darlington in a row for us. It's freaking awesome. We'll bring it to them.
There you go.
So the 98, Briscoe's going to pit, it sounds like.
Communication from driver to crew chief, and a driver that's God, let me explain what I'm doing out here. I am slipping and sliding everywhere. Tires are going to help me.
Yeah, it really seemed like the tires were falling off really bad. Justin Haley said before the race he hammered on his team all week. Set me up a car that's good for tire wear because the tires here wear the hell out.
Or Clements in 10th.
So yeah, I think everybody's going to pit.
Going off track and giving up the points. I think they're kind of just racing. You know, the question is, what about Andy Lally in 5th? Right? If he can start on the front row, does he feel he has enough road course experience to nurse those old tires? It's still a very tough call.
Well, his reference to Atlanta and other tracks.
Right.
That's just talking about the tire wear and how much the speed has come out of the tires.
It scared me to change my decision. I was staying out till I heard that.
He also said it was
I was thinking stay out too till I heard the way Briscoe was talking.
Pit road is open.
Somebody in the back will take a chance.
I think they're going to purposely follow the pace car, right?
They're going to clean up the bus stop. It obviously a lot of debris there, so that's why.
I think they got to fix that bus stop somehow.
We've seen some pit road penalties. We saw
A little more runoff area there would be nice, just a little bit on the entry and
have to be really clean right here.
through the center.
Lap time, Steve. It looks like throughout that run, they fell off about 4
I don't know,
seconds.
Michael. I'm kind of rooting against Cindric, even though he'd
So
make you money
that
today.
makes that decision. You're going to drop the green here with what? 7 to go? 6 to go at the most?
25 miles. That's a long ways around. And you know, the other problem around here is unlike a Sonoma where there's not a lot of places to go, you know, the infield gets kind of tight, but if you are behind on tires and you don't accelerate out of turn 6, that is a long straightaway. You mentioned it, Dale, right? If you don't get out of that corner right, 2, 3, 4 cars can go by you down that straightaway if you just have no tire to accelerate with.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of long
Excuse
acceleration, long straightaways coming out of the back stretch chicane where you have to have good drive.
Maybe they should add a lap each to stage 1 and 2 and make the last stage just 20 laps instead of 22. Because 22 laps on fuel is a lot compared to 20 because the track is so big. They almost put these guys in a box where they had no choice but to just stay out and run out of gas and see what happened if we didn't get this caution here. And it looks like everybody and their grandmother's on pit road. So that certainly simplifies
Not to
things.
make you feel bad, Steve, but it was never even a question for the 16 car Daytona whether they're going to put 4 tires on this car. They did an air pressure adjustment in the rear to try to give them a little bit more drive off the corners. He's been chugging that filled full of fuel in the 16, Dave.
Middle of your screen, Chase Briscoe and his team debated so hard on whether to change that race car because it was so good. Very slight air pressure adjustment for him. Meanwhile, the 22 of Austin Cindric, bottom of your screen, he described his car as indescribably bad in terms of the drive off the corner. They'll try to make a major
Really good pit stop for Briscoe. He keeps the lead. Cindric second, Allmendinger third. Brandon Jones fourth, Harrison Burton fifth, coming off pit road. So no change in the top 4.
Richard Childress Racing back in 2007 asked him if he could, at some point in time, race one of his race cars in NASCAR if he wanted to. Well, he got the opportunity, but today it didn't end the way he wanted it to.
Oh yeah, I'm drinking that milkshake right now. I figured you'd be able to hear me because this microphone is so sensitive it picks up every little noise. So I just assumed you could hear me slurping on this milkshake. But yes, I have it. I am on a strict diet plan, but not so strict that I won't enjoy a milkshake. How many more times is Riley Herbst going to spin out today? He's up to 4 now, I think, for the day total. Those curbs are so violent. Well, maybe they should stop hitting them. That's an idea. Oh, wow, they're back already? That was a quick commercial. I thought they were on commercial. I was looking at my phone. Tomorrow's going to be awesome, dude. Truck Series at noon, Cup at 3. That's going to be great.
At the start of the day, Brad, your word was intentions. What have you seen? And maybe more importantly, how...
Oh, it's orange cream, Lil J. It's an orange cream milkshake from Arby's.
The thing I was trying to figure out is who would take a chance and
Which is the only thing from Arby's I'll still eat besides the mozzarella sticks.
Like Andy Lally, who's an excellent road racer, may stay on the track, DJ, and take a chance and try to hold these guys off for about 6 or 7 laps.
Yeah, I didn't realize the fall off was quite that much with these tires, but it would have been fun to see such a great road racer like that take that chance, get a little bit of a cushion, maybe jump out there. But now it's going to be. Now we're going to watch.
So we got a couple of cars that stayed out here, guys.
And AJ can all do.
Bailey Curry. Is that Kyle Weatherman?
And it delivers because this has been a
Myatt Snyder. I think the advantage here goes to Cindric. He's on the inside lane, and Briscoe's going to be on the outside behind Bailey Curry.
How about Rick, this last lap of the race?
We're on the edge of our seat here.
Yeah, it's Bailey Curry and Kyle Weatherman, and Briscoe's on the outside. Cindric's on the inside behind Myatt Snyder. Yeah, Cindric's going to win the race.
Cars stayed on the racetrack. Curry, Weatherman, and Snyder. Why that matters, and it's an odd number, is the 98 of Briscoe now lines up on row 2.
Yep, that just won Cindric the race right there.
Drivers, is this advantage 98? 1 row higher and has the outside into turn 1, or do you like the 22 having the ball?
Well, the 98's going to have to clear these guys into turn 1. He's not going to be able to have an advantage.
If he can make that move Cindric's made a few times today and make it stick, he might be okay. But right now, Cindric has to be drooling right now. He's salivating here. He's on the inside, and he knows his best competition's stuck on the outside because I don't think... Well, Allmendinger's on the outside too, so yeah, Cindric's got the race won. Bailey Curry and Kyle Weatherman, please stand. Please go fuck yourselves. I hope both of these cars get junked just for having such a stupid paint scheme. Please stand for the flag. And the 47 spun the tires right in front of Briscoe. Okay. God, Allmendinger, no, don't do it. Allmendinger got up. Wow, they all missed turn 1. Brandon Jones takes the lead. How? How? Everybody missed turn 1. Oh, the 36 is hard into the guardrail. Briscoe's around. Brandon Jones and Allgaier running 1-2. That's going to be a caution. Caution's out. What the fuck? Did you guys see when they all went into turn 1 and everybody was just gone? Everybody was gone. Cindric, Weatherman, Curry, Briscoe, Allman, they all missed turn 1. Everybody. That was just like the Roval a couple of years ago. By the way, that wreck at the Roval where everybody missed turn 1 happened right in front of me. If the catch fence was not in front of me, I would have got hit with debris that day. Allmendinger kind of caused this because he gets up the ass of the 47 and shoves him into Briscoe. And then they all are all smoking the tires and just completely fucking miss. Cindric came out in third, though, so Cindric's going to win. Briscoe is done. Well, he's not done, but he's out of contention. Cindric's got the race won. He's in third.
There's just so much going on here.
No way Brandon Jones holds off Cindric.
Later, Riley Herbst around in the 18.
Let me count the cars that missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars missed turn 1. And then they all try to come back on the track, and they all hit each other, and Briscoe spins, and the 36 gets turned into the wall.
There's nothing wrong with finding things humorous in racing. I mean, look at this. It's funny because we're not driving.
Wow. Yeah, look at the track over the left. It was completely clear.
That content right there.
That's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. You can thank Bailey Curry and Kyle Weatherman for this. Fucking retards. Please stand. Please get the fuck off the track and never come back. Well, Michael should be happy because Cindric's definitely going to win the race now.
Watch him in front of you, wrecking again.
Still
Still wrecking.
wrecking. Yep, they're wrecking. They're wrecking. They're wrecking.
It was pretty easy for us to follow with that Winstacks camera, but yeah, they're all wrecking. They're all wrecking. They're still wrecking. All wrecking.
That was the best thing that could ever happen. Oh, Riley Herb spun out again. I didn't see that. Riley Herb spun out again. After all the wrecks happened, he spun out by himself again.
That front looked over camera. It's some pretty severe damage on this side. The 98 Chase Briscoe.
So you know what would be really interesting is like you could gain 4 or 5 spots depending on when the caution came out, right? Because so many positions change hands. That grass on that 20 car, they have to pit to get that off.
That was spectacular. That was beautiful. That was a work of art. I'll be right back.
A lot of damage. Chase Briscoe, definitely one of the favorites coming into this final restart. Let's listen into the 16 radio of AJ Allmendinger and his team.
I don't know. I got KO'd in the left side.
It would be the 98 that KO'd who tried to turn you around in front of the field. Just FYI, 98 car again. 98, 9 to 8.
And Chris Rice wanted to make sure
He was pretty clear. Yeah, he was pretty clear there with that, I think.
We went 2 digits. We went 1 digit. We went 9, 8.
And he threw it
Then they got
again.
a little left front center.
He did.
Hit that little bit of panel right there. Hit it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
That's powerful.
So back on pit road, 4 fresh good years.
Now, let's go. Let's go.
So Cindric has the best car and doesn't need to do it, but how much you want to bet Cindric's going to wreck Allgaier here to win the race, even though he doesn't need to.
For AJ Allmendinger.
He's going to be starting so far back.
Briscoe's fucked.
Turn 1 looks like that again. There's no telling how many cars he can pass. See pretty heavy damage on the 98 of Briscoe.
I mentioned clean through turn 1, Brandon Jones. Well, also the guy who got through there that's very good is Allgaier. Justin Allgaier, a good road course racer. He was able to get through there clean.
And Cindric, I also think, kind of squeaked through there with very little damage. There you go. There's Cindric right there. And you mentioned the lineup, Jeff. It seems at the time of the yellow, that's going to... I would assume this is the lineup. We'll see.
Really, they got Cindric scored in second? I thought Allgaier was second. Oh, well.
Well, I said it.
So it's Jones, Cindric, Allgaier, Mike Snyder, Andy Lally, the top 5.
This could be the last restart. It definitely wasn't and might still not be, right, DJ?
I don't care how many restarts you have. Cindric's definitely got the race won now.
That was going to be the last green flag of this race as we get down to the end of these things. And, these guys, they know how much this means. They're here with an opportunity to...
You hear me shout, Allmendinger, no, because he was shoving the 47 into Briscoe and taking them all off the track. That's why I was like, Allmendinger, no. Do I play Zelda? Never played Zelda in my entire life. Resident Evil, yes. It's just been a long time since I've played Resident Evil.
Every weekend, it's just outstanding racing right to the finish.
Yeah, I thought this is what we'd see on lap 1, though. I didn't think we'd be seeing it with 6 to go. Just over-aggressive racing, no doubt about it. Austin Cindric has got himself in a great position. When one guy goes off, everyone just kind of follows. And I was watching the 22, and he kind of meandered off the path just a little bit and then got it back on shape. So it's going to be interesting to watch these next 5 laps, see who can survive. But I like where Andy Lally's at. I'm pulling for him. I want to see Andy.
Man, I'd die if Andy Lally won, but Cindric's restarting on the outside of the front row. He'll have Brandon Jones cleared by the time they come out of 1. I hope. I'd rather have Cindric win than Brandon Jones. And hey, look at Allgaier in the top 5. Let me just go ahead and say that before he gets wrecked on the last lap and finishes 30th. Because he's in the top 5 right now. He's third.
Not a single one of those cars in front of you slowed down enough to make that corner, except for the 19. Dude, I couldn't believe it. Like, I watched them all get in there, and I'm like, none of them are making. I didn't slow it up early.
Now, we talked at the beginning of the show about how Justin and Jason Burnett, the crew chief, feel like they've had good speed, they've had good opportunities presented to them, they just haven't been able to capitalize, and they capitalize on this one. They'll restart up front here, Dave.
And Brandon Jones will restart up front. Remember what Jeff Mendering, his crew chief, told us earlier this year about his road course development? He used to run a lot of extra races in the Trans Am TA2 division, but they got away from that this year. Let Brandon do his own thing to learn on his own and really make improvements. He's done that here today. He's only got to hold off Austin Cindric and the rest of the field, guys.
Yeah, our scoring monitor had Allgaier in front of Cindric, but as we're seeing,
Briscoe's out of the race. He's getting out of his car.
Chase Briscoe,
He does not look happy.
race car.
I wouldn't be either.
It's a huge opportunity for Cindric.
That sucked.
If he get this win, gives him that many more points. His biggest competitor for this regular season championship's out of the race now.
Look at that. For the 36 guys following me into turn 1 tomorrow, enter at your own risk.
My braking points are not exact, and you'll likely miss the corner.
Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. We're going to
Well, that worked out better than turn 1 at the Roval a couple of years ago with like 8 laps to go or whatever. So 5 to go now. Jones, Cindric, Allgaier, Mike Snyder, followed by Allgaier and Jade Buford. Wow, Brandon Jones got a great restart. I thought Cindric would have him cleared getting into one. Oh, look out. Buford goes around. Oh, traffic jam, parking lot. Look out. Nobody's going to get stuck here, though. That will not be a caution. Jones, oh, wow. Cindric's around the outside of Jones going into the horseshoe. Yeah, buddy. Jones keeps the lead for now. Like I said, 5 to go.
Now through turn 4, the kink.
This is a fucking formality. Cindric's going to smoke this dude.
Into this corner.
Jones needs to take the defensive line. Good Lord. Cindric is a madman trying to get this done on the outside.
You have the preferred line for this next corner. That is so impressive to be able to drive in the corner that much deeper.
He's got it right here coming back onto the oval.
Oh, he's loose into turn 6.
And Cindric takes the lead, and good night, folks.
Cindric back out front at Daytona.
That's the race, kiddies.
Austin Cindric.
People watch me do this more than the video games because I'm not very good at video games and I don't play a huge variety.
Snyder, the top 5. Haven't talked a lot about Mike Snyder. A lot of experience when he raced over in Europe last year.
Mike's out there on much older tires than
Yep,
everybody else.
Cindric's got it now. Through the backstretch chicane. The next 5 laps are completely pointless. The only threat to Cindric is sitting in the garage right now.
Austin Cindric. Now about a 5-car length lead. Only driver. Went 5 times in 6
You know, I said when the new schedule came out this year, before the pandemic, you know, they were going to be doing Indy Road Course, Road America, Mid-Ohio, Watkins Glen, all that. I was like, man, Cindric's going to have a great year. And then they replaced Watkins Glen with the Daytona Road Course because of coronavirus. So this stretch of the season has gone pretty much how I thought it would. I'm very picky about games because I suck at games. If I'm not interested in what the game is about, I usually can't get into it and enjoy it.
26 car, watching the 707. He kind of turned around there, some hard contact.
Randy Godova, just really nothing he could do.
I really want to stream Star Wars again soon. Jedi Fallen Order.
Cars going everywhere in the turn 1.
I hesitate to stream any big game like that on my PC because when I try to stream it, the stream will be all laggy unless I dumb it down. God, that was a traffic jam getting into one. Wonder what Kamikaze Games thinks about Austin Cindric dominating again. I'm sure he's thrilled.
There's AJ Allmendinger, guys. That pass is for 5th.
AJ Allmendinger's in the top 5. What?
With no caution, but if he's able to get a caution,
Come on, get a caution. We need a damn caution.
in that second row, he would be a threat to win this race.
He's our only hope. Cindric's driven away from Brandon Jones.
Is a late yellow with AJ Allmendinger in striking distance.
It's 3 seconds back right
Yeah,
now.
we saw in that previous restart when the clusterfuck in turn 1 happened. Just how hard Allmendinger's going to drive into turn 1 now. He's the one who drove half the field off the course.
Service outside of the box. He's been able to fight back. And now running up in the top 5. Trying to chase down Andy Lally in that 0-2.
What a solid job he's done all day. Been there all day, you know, just steady, no mistakes.
Earlier in the race, we saw the 9 of Noah Gragson have an issue, spin into turn 3, connect the tire barrier. Actually, I think it was turn 5, but
Andy Lally's closing in for 3rd place. Although if you look behind him, Allmendinger's closing in on him for 4th.
6th position. So showing some consistency.
I don't know if Chastain's back out running. I mean, God, if he is, who knows? Let me look up. Oh, I got a leaderboard right here in front of me.
Trying to get behind the 0-2 of
Chastain. Chastain's out of the race, I'm pretty sure.
It's just such an important spot to get. You can't win it from here unless there's a problem by Cindric. But again, it's a huge difference, Junior, between starting 5th and starting 4th on a restart.
Yeah, for sure. I think he can get by these guys pretty quickly. So stay on the outside here to have that preferred line. That's probably something the Cup guys are watching. So, man, if I can get to the outside of the guy, we got the position right here in turn 6.
Whoa, Allmendinger. Oh, man. Allmendinger spun Allgaier. Fucking Christ. What did I tell you what happened? What did I tell you what happened? Allgaier just got spun out by Allmendinger and lost like 5 spots. Fuck. He's back running, but he's like 9th now. He was 4th. Actually, he was 3rd. He was 3rd. And Allmendinger sent it in on Lally, wheel hopped, and drove straight into the back of, or the left rear quarter panel of Allgaier.
Right through the 7 car. Yeah. So he's made contact. He's got a lot of damage to the right front headlight. But, as we said, he's trying to...
Cindric has a 4-second lead on Brandon Jones with 3 laps to go.
Just a mistake. AJ Allmendinger is not a guy just go in there and wreck somebody. He just made a mistake.
There's a little bit of tire smoke off of that car now.
Andy Lally's 3rd. Andy Lally's 3rd. Gregson's 4th. But, he's about to be 3rd. He's passing Lally now. 2 laps to go.
I really like that line that Noah Gragson took through that last chicane, gave a much lower, cleaner exit. For that reason, he has positioned into turn 1.
Every week it's something with Allgaier.
Lally patiently behind him, waiting to see if somebody will make another mistake like he just saw.
Back in 6th place, Jeremy Clements. Why is that important? He came into this race outside the bubble battle.
Allmendinger just completely whiffed on the horseshoe there.
And now he's 29 as we run. 29 points behind. Brandon Brown for 12th. Jeremy's a great road racer. Yellow. And Junior, I talked to Jeremy earlier today. He mentioned that even though they won at Road America a few years ago, they learned more about the road courses each year.
Look at Jeremy Clements running in the top 10.
They do view these races
That's
as
something to make me
opportunities
happy.
for them. And keep in mind, last week at Road America, they were involved in an incident, got home on
Andy Lally's passing Gregson for 3rd. How long until Gregson wrecks Andy Lally? How long?
Stop working to turn that same car around, getting it fixed and ready to go.
Well, now Allmendinger's fighting back. He's going to pass Gregson and Lally.
The run he's having today is a nice reward for their hard work.
Allmendinger's got a pretty bad tire rub on the right side. Could be from where he clobbered Allgaier.
Right now, only 28 points up on Jeremy, so you got to stay up. Keep your eyes on those guys as we go through this season. Great battle here.
He was able to get back behind, though.
Oh, Andy Lally hit the backstretch chicane. Didn't tear it up, but he's going to lose the spots to Gregson and Allmendinger. Oh, come on, Lally. He was having such a good race.
It stayed.
He was having such a good day. Well, he's still having a good day because he didn't tear the car up. And he only lost 2 spots doing it. You think as much as they beat down that grass and dirt there, it won't be as much of a problem tomorrow. Hey, Janet, I got a PS2.
1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. And once again, is Austin Cindric.
1 lap to go. Cindric with a 6-second lead on Brandon Jones.
Austin Cindric and the run that he's on.
They're on the final lap. Here.
Before this run started, most of the talk about Austin Cindric was how.
And when the results happen, you'll be able to see them on your screen on the leaderboard.
The Kentucky double, where he went back-to-back wins and won on an oval, and all of a sudden Austin Cindric became a great race car driver. Not just a road course racer, but a great race car driver.
I still plead the fifth on that. He's very good on road courses. That's about all I'll give Cindric. He's very good on road courses.
In the Xfinity Series, compare that run he was on to this one that Austin Cindric was on. It makes you appreciate how impressive Austin Cindric has done these last 2 months.
Well, don't let these closing laps fool you. This was not an uncontested victory. 98 at Chase Briscoe pushed the 22 to the brink a few times. The 22 and the 98 had a heated battle coming in the end of stage 2.
Hey, Janet, I'm pretty sure I can get Contra on an emulator on my computer. I totally could.
He did his job. He somehow found a way to get this 22. I mean, you look at it. Relatively unscathed, Rick. One of the best looking cars on the track.
We heard Mario Andretti talking about watching history. He was talking more about the
Riley Herbst is in such a good car, he's still going to get a top 10 after spinning out 35 times.
But Austin Cindric right now is making history in what he is doing in this series and how dominant he is, especially over the last 6 races, winning 5 out of the last 6 races and the first ever.
Austin Cindric wins.
At Daytona.
Oh, well.
He comes out, sees the checkered flag. Austin Cindric wins again.
Thanks, guys. Good job today.
Well, that was certainly an adventure. That race was an adventure.
Competition hopes he doesn't bring his best.
Wow, I didn't do my best today, but we did well enough. What a run for Austin Cindric. 5 of the last 6 races.
I enjoyed that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remake demo so much. Last night I played Tony Hawk's Underground on my PS2.
Record set back in 1983. Great company, young man. Austin Cindric wins at Daytona.
We'll hang around because I'm interested to hear these post-race interviews. See if Allgaier and AJ Allmendinger have a midget wrestling match on pit road or something. That would be the 2 shortest drivers to ever fight in NASCAR, wouldn't it? So Cindric wins. Brandon Jones second. Noah Gragson third. AJ Allmendinger fourth somehow. Andy Lally top 5. Jeremy Clements, Riley Herbst, Harrison Burton, Justin Allgaier 9th, Mike Snyder 10th. Then Ryan Sieg 11th. Josh Bilicki 12th. Hey now. So after these post-race interviews, I'm going to stop the stream, but then I'll be back on a few minutes later because we're going to stream something else. Most people ain't going to want to hang around for it, which I'm fine with that. I know a couple people will. We're going to stream, hopefully, the last bit of the shit I have to do in Batman Arkham Knight on New Game Plus. Then we can move on with our lives. If I'm in the right mood, I'd stream Pokemon Leaf Green late tonight. I don't know. I'm sure after the Batman stream, I'll just be tired. I need to set my alarm for tomorrow morning because, like I said, there's a race tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon. It's morning for me because I try to sleep really late. Noon is morning, okay? Anything before 1 p.m. is morning. Yeah, 11:15. We'll say 11:15. Damn.
Remember, that was a 5 OT game. Well, that series is locked up 1 apiece, and that's coming up next right here on NBCSN. As Austin Cindric has made his way around the racetrack, which takes a while here, almost 4 miles for this road course. And he's going to celebrate.
He earned it.
And he deserves a little celebration. Steve, you mentioned not a lot of damage to that race car. Maybe a donut on the side. where there was some contact. That was from Chase Briscoe when the two were fighting for a stage win. And ultimately, it was Cedric that was able to battle it out and win the race here, the first ever road course race at Daytona International Speedway.
The Xfinity Series has been so down. Uh-oh, here it comes. We got a fight.
That's Justin Allgaier.
Allgaier. Here he comes. Oh, my God. He went. I thought he was just going to walk right up and punch him, dude. He was like marching down pit road. Now he's yelling at him. AJ dropping F-bombs. Take your helmet off, Allgaier. Come on. AJ took his helmet off. Oh, Allmendinger with the fire. You hear that? He said it was a mistake. And by the way, I've seen you make a lot of those. Well, that was remarkably unproductive, but Allmendinger was cussing back at him, and AJ was like, yeah, it was my fault. It was a mistake, and I've seen you make a lot of those.
He was running up front. We saw
Allgaier should be mad,
heard him say it was his mistake.
but it was really funny to hear Allmendinger get back at him.
Allgaier at all, who's again running
Man.
for points.
Dude, it looked like Allgaier was going to march right down there and punch him. That's why I said I thought there was going to be a fight.
And AJ Allmendinger. Let's go to Dave.
Andy Lally talking to Allgaier.
And the race winner runs up the track, which is tradition, to grab that checkered
Woo-wee.
flag, and that's one he will proudly display.
We were about to have a fight
in
there.
the inaugural race here on the road course for the Xfinity Series.
And then at the end of it, Allmendinger looks at Allgaier and goes, are you done?
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone was really happy with the race cars. Unfortunately, I have a tough perspective of driving really fast hybrid race cars at this track, but great credit to my team, the Mainline guys, and everyone that puts together for performance around Chase Engines. Obviously, everyone at Team Penske for working hard. That's 5 wins on the year, obviously, back-to-back now. So really proud of that. I didn't feel like I drove my best today, but we executed there at the end where it counts, and that's what makes these races so difficult to win.
You watch racing long enough, you'll see your share of arguments, shouting matches, and straight-up fights.
Xfinity Series, and now you've tied him. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's incredible, and it takes great race cars and obviously executing races, and I'm proud to be driving.
Allgaier was marching up to AJ Allmendinger.
But this is great for the points for sure.
Austin Cindric, winner here today at the Daytona Road Course. Dylan?
And Dave, we saw Justin Allgaier speaking
There's Allgaier's
with
interview.
AJ Allmendinger. So Justin, what were you displeased with?
Getting wrecked. I mean, plain and simple, like he just made a dumb decision, and I don't know. Obviously, I've not seen a replay, but it's pretty easy to tell what happened. You know, I don't know if we could have held him off even at the end of the race there, but I mean, he just drove in there and cleaned me out. So, really proud of everybody in this Grand Prix Hard to Camaro. We weren't the best today. The guys did a really good job, and made big gains all day, and the pit crew did a great job getting track position. Spotters did awesome. You're just getting me in the right spots, and 2020 has been just like that right there.
Well, Jay, you think this is crazy? Come back in 2 weeks when they come back to Daytona to do this track again, but this time it'll be the oval? Man.
Thank you, Justin.
All right, let's look at
So I get the impression that this Justin Allgaier, AJ Allmendinger thing has been developing low-key over time, because Allgaier said he's tired of getting run into by the same guy. Allmendinger seemed pretty fuck you about it. We'll have to see as this develops.
Now playoff points, Cindric has surged ahead there. But really the fight is going to be for those last spots in the playoffs.
Dale mentioned it, right? This came in at 53 points. Brandon Brown had done a nice job to extend it. Jeremy Clemens did a nice job to gain back in today. We get doubleheader at Dover. The Monster Mile is not the type of place I want to try to protect.
Yeah, 2 races at Dover next week for Xfinity and Cup. And then the week after that, they come right back to Daytona.
33, you go down to 6th place. Justin Eddy was 7th. So Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe, they've done a great job of getting playoff points. That's going to help them advance through the playoffs. And that first round of the playoffs, guys, that is crazy with the racetracks that are in it. The Roval, Talladega. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to get through that first round. Those extra points can help you do that.
let's get to the other side of the story with Justin Allgaier and AJ Allmendinger.
Great, here's an Allmendinger interview. I'm sure this will be entertaining.
And Justin, obviously, with some harsh words to say the least.
Harsh
but AJ,
words.
what was your take on the move and what was said afterwards?
I mean, he should be mad. That's my fault. I was trying to get. It wasn't anything intentional, but that was my fault. I got in there trying to get under Lally, and honestly, I didn't even drive in that hard. I had the Lally pass done, and as soon as I touched the brake pedal, it started wheel hopping, and as soon as it did, I was just trying to clear out of the, like I was trying to turn right to get away from the 7 and miss him, and I got into him. So he should be mad, and I apologize to his race team. You know, he says I've wrecked him a lot in the past. I'm not really sure of that, if that's the case. I'm sorry, but other than that, you know, I apologize to his race team organization. Private College Racing, we worked hard. The Ellsworth
Thank you,
device
Lori.
for Chevy was not great. We were working hard on it. We were a third place car. The Fords were really quick, but we're going to be best in class there. And
Best in class. That's what I used to call it when Kyle Busch ran like 30 Xfinity races a year. And the guy that finished second, I'd call him best in
Yeah, I
class.
was disappointed. I thought I could at least got back to second, and then as soon as I got in the back of Justin, I kind of lost the energy to keep pushing because I just felt bad for it. So whatever he said, I get it. Yeah.
Thanks, AJ. Good, honest stuff from AJ there. And
I like AJ, I like Justin, so I'm not mad at either guy. Certainly not mad at Allgaier. He had the right to be pissed off.
like AJ, when they come and run these races, they go all out. They are there to win. And we talked about it up to that point, how AJ was pushing as hard as he could to put himself in position to try to get a shot at Cindric had there been a late yellow.
Put your fucking mask on, Gregson. Shaking hands with AJ with his mask off.
Yes, the cars are so spread out that, you know, netted a 9th place finish, and it didn't ruin his race. Didn't finish quite as good as he would have, but still.
Go to Dover now. Allgaier, God damn it. Justin Allgaier's going to win Dover. Justin Allgaier's going to win Dover.
All right, we've
He's
seen
really
race
good there.
at the Daytona road course. What do we expect?
And that was the first NASCAR race on a Daytona road course.
So, advice to all the Cup drivers is go slower into one than you think you need to. Learn that. You know,
How about that bus stop?
Yeah, I was going to say, go slower there, too.
Yeah.
Don't hit the grass.
A lot of learning that happened today, not only by the drivers, but the crew chiefs, the teams, and all the people watching. And it will be fun to see tomorrow who can apply that, who can take from the day the most and apply that. And there was just so much going on today. A lot for those guys to take in.
I think we're going to see basically what we saw today, but a much more competitive field from front to back. I think it'll be a closer race from front to back. A lot more contested positions in all of these corners throughout the day, and I think that'll lead to more mistakes.
I agree. Depth of field, you know.
They're completely missing the truck race tomorrow. The truck race is going to be killer.
A mistake you can get away with a mistake in some areas, you can't in others. You're going to have to be lucky to make your mistake and still have a chance to recover. That bus stop, it gobbles them up back there, Rick. Gobbles them up.
Well, we mentioned it at the top of the show, history. We were going to see history. We've seen it out of Austin Cindric. 5 out of the last 6 races, Austin
The
Cindric
Xfinity
was
thing on
able
top of his
to
car. There you go.
visit
For the Victory Lane
Victory
pictures.
Lane. He is definitely the hottest driver in the Xfinity Series, and right now maybe the hottest driver in NASCAR. At just under 22
Yeah,
years old. Tomorrow
yeah.
on NBC.
Okay, well, how tall am I? That's random. 6'1". I'm a little over 6'1". Hey guys, give me a few minutes. There, look at the results one last time. There's the top 12. Cindric, Jones, Gregson, Allmendinger, Lally, blah 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 blah. I'm going to get off here for a few minutes, but Little J, Janet, I'll be back in a little bit. Give me some time.